atmosphere is clean. I wish to see the people living violence free. A sunny day, so sunny. Yeah. The atmosphere is clean. Wish to see the people living violence free. Although so much fussing and fighting, people been used, misled and exploited. Mother Nature, she's still there for we. So much trouble in the world, so much pollution around us. I just lost to still set the captive free. Rastafari, he treats us so fine. He tell us what we get to mankind. And set the wise to lead the blind. So why can't we be free? Like the birds and the fishes of the sea. Live up in love, love and harmony. Cause it's a sunny day. Yeah, in the the atmosphere is clean. I wish to see the people living violence free. It's a sunny day. Yeah, in the the atmosphere is clean. I wish to see the people living violence free. One of the first class places, descendant of the African race. It's clear for all eyes to see. Check out the greenery, the great reggae industry. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and the great money. Oh, island in the sun, blessed we by the Father's hand. Great herbs to heal the sick, it's air for we. Island in the sun, a gift to me by the Father's hand. Surrounded by the great and mighty sea. That is the Saturday. Yeah, in the atmosphere is clean. I wish to see the people living violence free. That is the Saturday. Yeah, in the atmosphere is clean. I wish to see the people living violence free.
You can't just sell at one place at once anymore. You can't just sell at one place at once anymore.
Oh no. Go never let us down, no child. Never let us down. Everyone to sing, yeah. Never let us down, no child. Never let us down. From those of red 5,000 defend. Just like Moses rock part the Red Sea, Jah. Never let I down. 10 and 20,000 rise up against me. No, not one of them can come smite me, Jah. Never let I down. Wicked heart and evil mind concentrate me. Thinking how they want to terminate me, Jah. Never let us go. He's my shield and my buckler. He's my guide and protector. Whoa, he never lets us down. Sing it at me, sing it. Go cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. Never let us down, no cha. Never let us down. Everyone to sing it. Cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. Never let us down, no cha. Never let us down. Like how David slew Goliath with the sling and the stone. Sample from the Philistine with the jackass and bounds and never let us down. I run my back up in a sticky situation. That preserve a better preparation. Wow, we never let us down. They'll give you a basket to carry water. Why, oh, why? To do your words, I'll never falter. Oh, no, no. Fool saying that there is no God. But praising Jah, I'm feeling glad. Yeah. Oh, Jah, 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 Jah. Never let us down, no Jah. Never let us down. Everyone to sing it. Jah, 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 Jah. Never let us down, no Jah. Never let us down. 5 loaves for bread, 5,000 defend. Just like Moses right past the Red Sea, Jah. Never let us down. 10 and 20,000 rise up against me. Though not one of them can come smite me, Jah. Never let us down. Evil mind and evil thought concentrate me. Thinking how they want to terminate me, Jah. Never let us go. Sing it, tell me, sing it. Cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. Never let us down, no Jah. Never let us down. Everyone to sing it. Cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. Never let us down, no Jah. Never let us down. Oh, hey, cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. Never let us down, no Jah. Never let us down. Everyone to sing it. Cha-cha, cha-cha.
Welcome to the Jehovah Chronicles with your host, Cosmon Cow.
That's right. It's your hostess with the most. It's on fire like the toast is. Your naga. Your nerve fresh up off of that curve, jelly, jam, and preserve. Cosmon. Hey, man, thumb up the video. I know it's early on a Saturday morning. You dig what I'm talking about. C-Law came in through was last night, cooking late night to early this morning. Your boy Cosmon right back up on it. I'm actually, shout out to everybody up in here already. Bishop. Shia, shout out to the Creative Gang. You dig what I'm talking about? Everybody be coming in a minute. You dig what I'm saying? I'm just doing this lesson real quick. This is Project 2025. What is it, and does it affect Fasithists? Now, what's funny is my brother Just Me had brought this this topic up. Now, I had already been this is how you know what I mean, when you in that line of light, you did what I'm talking about. Great minds truly tend to think alike, because I had already been doing just randomly some studying on the 2025 because I'd heard so much about it, but I didn't really know a lot about the situation. You dig what I'm saying? I didn't really know what was going on. So I looked into it, and I'm not going to give you my initial thought on everything, but I do want to show y'all some footage, and not necessarily brought by the Democrats, not brought by the Republicans, some people who while they had some skin in the game, they weren't on either side, right? And then I want you to notice that in the second video that I'm going to show, they go undercover to, you know, get these dudes to expose really what's going on with the 2025 Project 2025, its creators, inventors, you know, the Heritage Foundation, who has been placing presidents on you know, on the pedestals since the 1880s. You dig what I'm talking about? This part, they try to say, oh, they just started in the 1980s. No, they have been doing this since the 1880s. And if they don't have anybody to run against, like, let's, for instance, if they didn't have, first of all, they pushed the first Democratic presidents, and once the switch was made, they start pushing the Republicans. But if there is a time where, you know, they don't necessarily have their man on either side, they'll push both Democrat and Republican just so they can win either way. So we understand that the game is underhanded, dirty, and monetarily based. You dig what I'm talking about? People sell their soul for power and money. We see this every day. So in the second video, they went undercover to expose this stuff. Now, Trump tried to distance himself from 2025, but the people who wrote it behind the scenes, they're saying Trump is with this, and that that he's going to enact this stuff. So I had to look into it to make sure and see what was going on with it. You did what I'm talking about. How does it affect, you know, Negro folks or Black people in America, the Aboriginals of America? How does it affect them? Does it affect them? And how are they spinning this, right? Because they are spinning this like this is, you know, a secret thing. You know what I mean? Like, look, dude, we're going to get this. And if you do this and this and this, this is what's going on behind the scenes, and blah, 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 blah. And they get these people to spill the beans. Right? And then we're going to look at some other stuff that I'm just going to be straight up tell you right now, I think it's fear mongering. Let's play a little jams, man. Set the mood real quick. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's get some of this Jaja music rocking early in the morning. You dig what I'm talking about? We'll set the mood, wait for some people to come in, man. Y'all share the live, thumb up the video, support the channel, man. This your boy, Cosmon Cal, man, cooking right back in the ethers, man. Let's get up on some of this. Let's get on this. Some of this Richie Spice. Y'all want some of this Richie Spice? I know me, I couldn't do that. Let's see this. I Can't Stop Loving You, Ja. Perfect song. Let's go.
We're building something. We have to think big.
What do you know about wind turbines?
Whoa, na, 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 na. I can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. Can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. With all the pressure we bear, on the heartache we feel, yes. I know that love is real. With all the fussing and fighting, people don't want to unite. If there's no day, there is no night. Try to make the things alright. Can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. Can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. For your word passed away, heaven and earth shall decay. Stumbling block got to fade away. Try you give with self-confidence, self-intelligence. Make me listen to myself. Oh, na na na. Hey, na 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 na. Hey, can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. Can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. I gotta praise him when the sun shines. Praise him for the little child that smiles. Without him, my soul would be wild. Praise him to the highest sky. Praise him here and hurt too. You make me know what life is worth. Hey, I can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you. Can't stop loving you, child. No matter what, I can't stop loving you.
All right, we ain't gonna keep it going on too much longer. You dig what I'm talking about? I'ma just get to cooking. You dig what I'm saying? If you hear and you catching the light, then cool. If they missing it, oh well, that's the dope part about StreamYard and YouTube. You be able to go back and catch it. Let's cook.
Creator can't coming, creator can't coming. Turning up the light and watching boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan.
Creative gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength.
What is Project 2025 and does it affect Fasithists? Let's take a look.
Trump's Project 2025.
Pennsylvania,
So what is Project 2025? What's it got to do with this man, and why are the Democrats so worried about it? Here is a deep dive into the 900-page blueprint for government that could, it's claimed, reshape even destroy American democracy. Here it is, a 922-page manifesto. It's written by an influential conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation, and it lays out policy proposals should a Republican candidate win this November. And that
the Heritage Foundation is who has been putting up the president since the 1880s. They put up the opposition. If they don't have any opposition to who they put up both of them, just in case. Don't act like these people is on your side. They're not.
That Republican candidate would be one Donald Trump. Let's begin with the background. Project 2025 dates back to 1973. That's when the Heritage...
Now look, 1973, they already cooking. I've been telling you they've been cooking since the 1880s. They gonna start trying to tell you that it's only in 1981 or with Reagan and them they start really doing their thing, but that's not true. What I want you to notice is the overall theme in what we're going to watch is that they are pumping fear. It's the unknown, or it's what we do know, and that's not good. And you know what I mean? And you know, both sides do have validity to it, right? But when we know it is truly a fear-based doctrine, we know right then, whatever it is, it ain't from Creator, right? So at that point, you best to take a second look at whatever it is you about to get into, because it could get ugly very, very, very fast. You feel me? I want y'all to keep in mind the overall theme of fear that they're pumping, right? Watch.
Foundation, based in Washington, D.C., was founded. Their mission, to mold America into a more Christian, conservative state.
Key here is the idea that the Constitution guarantees liberties for each person to do not what they want, but what they ought, according to their understanding of God's law. And that is at the foundation of this entire document. And essentially what this boils down to is a vision of the country that privileges and prioritizes Christians in a particular version of Christianity.
Heritage came to prominence when the organization wrote their first manifesto in 1981. They called it a mandate for leadership. Essentially, it aimed to roll back the state and unleash free market capitalism. President Ronald Reagan liked the ideas so much that he gave a copy to each member of his cabinet to review. The Heritage Foundation claims that among the 2,000 proposals, about 60% of them were implemented by the end of President Reagan's first year in office.
It's no exaggeration to say that you've more than made your mark on American history. Tonight, I thank you, Heritage thanks you, and so does the conservative movement.
The Heritage Foundation has published a mandate for leadership every election cycle for the past 40 years. So what makes this one different? For the other side, for the Democrats, the language in this document is alarming because they think the policies have a dangerous undercurrent. Innocuous policies like the call to restore the family as the center of American life would undermine freedoms, they worry.
Now, y'all hear that? To restore the family to the centerpiece of the American life, Democrats think that's wrong.
Document blames US decline on pornography invading school libraries, critical race theory, and gender ideology in school curriculums, all part of what Project 2025 calls the Great Awakening. The policy agenda is one of 4 pillars of the project, and it plans to criminalize pornography.
I want y'all to listen. They're going to break down some of the things in Project 2025 that they're going to be against, right? And I'm going to just be straight up with you. A lot of it I agree with. I'm just being real. Watch this.
What Project 2025 calls the Great Awakening. The policy agenda is one of 4 pillars of the project, and it plans to criminalize pornography, disband the Departments of Education, Homeland Security, and the FBI. It rejects the concept of abortion as healthcare. It proposes the rollback of LGBTQ+ rights, and it ends climate protections.
Now, while on the basis, on the base or the face of this thing, I honestly don't disagree with really any of that. But in the underlying application of some of these things, right, with the history of America and its barbaric nature, you did what I'm talking about. It's best to keep an eye on this. But the crazy part is, essentially, while it does nothing for niggas, in a sense, overall, it is good things. Let's go back and look again what they say they're against. And I'm not against none of that. Watch this.
On immigration, rejects the concept of pillars of the project.
Watch.
And it plans to criminalize pornography,
criminalize pornography,
ban the Department of
disband the Department of Education. Yeah. How many of us have got shoddy ass educations, and now we owe, especially if you went to further college, and now you owe $100,000 in debt, but don't got a job that at least makes you $100,000 a year. How many of us have really been pigeonholed? And remember, it is through the Department of Education that we have rote learning, as we learned it today. Why they can teach us that we somehow Africans, right? While I'm not in agreement with the entire dispansion of critical race theory, because even though it does have a lot of falsity in it, there are truths in it that if critical race theory is banded forever, it seems like that they're trying to hide who the Negroes of America's true heritage is, and it is American. So I'm not against tearing down the Department of Education and Rothschild type learning, where they teaching your children not to be bosses, but to be workers. So, the same education system that raised me, that now I am learning that they lied about everything, and I'm having to reteach myself. So it's not like I would be necessarily against this either. What about, let's go on.
Of Education, Homeland Security.
Homeland Security. Ever since 2001 and they tackled buildings, you have had a whole law being oppressed upon you, right? And not your Constitution. And these is the boys that's putting it in effect. Homeland Security. Gangsters too, right? I'm not against this is your defund the police. Get these niggas up out of here. We ain't had no Homeland Security coming up. We did pretty all right. We ain't have all these shootings, which I think a lot of these Homeland Security, if they were actually doing their job, these things wouldn't even happen. If you really had Homeland Security, the first place you would secure is government facilities and schools. So if you're useless. So disband them. I'm with that.
And the FBI. It rejects.
Get their ass up out of there too. For the simple fact, you did, ever since you was created, you was used as a tool to hold niggas back. The FBI to hold black folks back. You dig what I'm talking about? The true American who didn't come from anywhere else. Remember, everybody else comes from somewhere except the Negro of America. He doesn't come from anywhere. He is from where his home is. Let's go back.
All part of what Project 2025 calls the Great Awakening. The policy agenda is one of 4 pillars of the project, and it plans to criminalize pornography.
You know what? You know why they doing this, criminalizing pornography? And I'm just saying this. I'm gonna be careful on how I say this. Pornography affects a certain group. All right. The pornography affects a certain group and it affects their bottom line, right? If you notice, a lot of this same manifesto that's being put forward in Project 2025 is the same one being put forward by Hitler in Mein Kampf. Remember, Hitler was saving his country. He did a great job until until that H word. You dig what I'm talking about? Well, I don't see how that could be blocked or anything. The Holocaust is real. Right? No. Until he did that, they had seen Germany and the Third Reich as a beacon in this world. You dig what I'm talking about? From the 1930s through the 40s. You dig what I'm talking about? And you know, look, it's a lot of this stuff that I am not necessarily against. Right? And a lot of it, just based on its surface, will help my people, period. Period. Whether it's directly for them or it helps them, indirectly. It helps.
Disband the Departments of Education, Homeland Security, and the FBI.
Y'all know how I feel about the FBI, right? Since who was put together to watch, they have been watching King's family. They have been watching his great grandfather before they was the FBI. They also got really together and banded chasing Jack Johnson. Yeah, the boxer, Jack Johnson. Yup. They really, under that time, the agency came together and through the work of the FBI, this is how they end up charging Jack Johnson with the Mann Act, right? Cause he was knocking down white girls. You dig what I'm talking about? And they thought they was gonna be able to charge him. He broke up out the country. Once he came back, they hit him with a new charge that they had created called the Mann Act. You dig what I'm talking about? Miscegenation laws and all this stuff. You see what I'm saying? It was the FBI that was pushing this issue. And your boy Hoover, who was a mixed nigga too. They don't tell you that part, do they? Right? Keep telling y'all many times it's your own people or the ones who look like your people who are your enemies.
It rejects the concept of abortion as healthcare. It proposes the role
abortion as healthcare. I'm not with it.
Rollback of LGBTQ plus rights.
Sorry.
And it ends climate protections.
Right? Them climate protection deals is why your gas is up so high. You dig what I'm talking about? The new Green Deal and all that. Why your gas up so high? You know how much oil and natural gas and all that stuff that's in the world? You can't use it up. And until you got a soul way to use this stuff, because guess what? They charging those electric cars using diesel engines. Why not just keep a diesel engine? Huh? It don't make no sense. You did what I'm talking about, and they setting and price gouging and doing all this stuff, price setting, and you know what I mean? Whooping on the people, taxing the people. Supposed to be a father to the people, but you oppressing them. So these things of the 2025 mandate, I'm not against none of them.
On immigration, the plans include the largest deportation in history, which Donald Trump has also promised to push through.
I ain't against that neither. You dig what I'm talking about? Hey, look, it is what it is. Till you get American niggas together, we got to get that stuff. And then they gave y'all free cribs, so why wouldn't we turn around and take y'all cribs? I'm just saying. Till you get, like the book of the prophecy say, till you get the most despised people in the world, the Negro of America, till you get them and get together for what you owe America, there will be hell to tell the captain. Let that sink in.
And there's the suggestion that the military could be used against Americans to suppress possible large-scale protests. Beyond that policy...
Well, we passed protesting and all that anyway, so ain't nobody about to go out there and protest nothing. Let white folks... It was white folks on January 6th up there protesting, wasn't it? Well, let them burn their shit down. Who cares? Right? It's their stuff anyway, right? Set it on fire then. Go ahead. I'll be at the crib chilling with some marshmallows and a long branch. I'm gonna be chilling. I don't know what you gonna be doing. You go out there and march. Nah, I ain't. We didn't did all the marching we was gonna do in the 60s. That's dead. Huh? So let's keep rocking. I'm not against none of this. But remember, you always gotta read the fine print, especially when you know you dealing with devils. Huh? But look, the agenda is playing out against the banking oligarchy today, just like it was being played against the banking oligarchies in the 1930 Germans. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they Third Reich or fascist, or you dig what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying my historic oppressors are fighting each other. Let that sink in. My historic oppressors are fighting each other. What part of that do I got a part of? None. Let them burn their own shit down. Listen, Project 2025 is our historic oppressors fighting themselves. Let that sink in. I ain't got to call no names. You know who they is, and then they try to tell you that they not the same people. Yeah, you is. Because in the end of the day, whatever you producing oppresses me. Huh? Oh, they ain't want Cosmon to do none of this cooking early up in the morning, cooking greens. I mix my turnips with my mustards.
Agenda, there is also a plan for a personnel database, pre-vetted, ideologically aligned employees. Think of it like a conservative-only LinkedIn. The idea is to create a pool of readily available people to fill federal government positions. To
This part is scary. This part is scary. You already got blindly loyal to a fault hound dogs who would do yes sir, Trump, right away, Raggy. They just gonna follow right along, and that's scary, right? Democrats got a real thing to worry about when nobody can say nothing against the policy, even if they see something on the inside that's wrong, that's going to hurt a lot of people. If you don't go with the flow, you are out. I can't help but do y'all remember the old movie called oh man, where it's like the rapture happens and everybody disappear and all that stuff, and then this guy comes, he becomes the president, Carpathia and all that stuff. Well, anyway, one of the things was he changed the rules to where he had only his loyal goddamn law dogs to do his every bit, and to where he was just basically immune from all law as the president, right? This recalls that type of ideology. But let's go on. That's kind of a little scary. You dig what I'm talking about? That's not just fear mongering. That's just real, because shit, if nobody fought back, imagine if nobody was there, or nobody had enough intestinal fortitude or guts to see when something was wrong and say something. Ooh-wee.
Assist a new Republican president.
And if the new Republican president, who ain't gonna be in there? Niggas. You may have some people with brown skin, but there'll be African heritage and people not from our walk of life and ilk, and most people who grew up privileged, and they not like us. They just got brown skin, right? So anybody in there be hella coonish, right? They don't got your best interests at heart, right? So even the coons, it'll be even less coons in there. They just gonna have 1-2 token niggas. That's it. And they'll flunk them around in some useless capacity. You dig what I'm talking about? Just like they always do. Because you have nobody with a spirit, a soul, intestinal fortitude, or guts, or a pair of huevos that actually will be around Trump to tell him no. No, nigga, that's stupid. Don't say that. Nah, don't do that, cuz. That's dumb. Why? Because you ain't thinking about these 20,000 people you about to wipe out trying to save 100,000. Silly. There's a different way to do this. Right? And Trump the type of dude who will, to get what he want done, he will crush the little man. Not even on purpose, just a giant, and you was in the way. Nothing personal. I'm an American.
President on day one. Remember that at the moment, federal government positions are not politically appointed or politically aligned. The plan is to install a swathe of politically appointed civil servants. It would be achieved via an executive order, meaning the new president would force the appointments through. It's called Schedule F, and we'll come back to that. The third pillar is a Presidential Administration Academy, an online educational program to train those employees to get them up to speed.
Train or indoctrinate.
Under a Republican president. And the fourth final pillar
is a 180-day playbook, an action plan for how they'll get things done. These pillars are the structural...
There you go, Dredd. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Left Behind, the Left Behind series. I read all like 13 of them books with Carpathia and all them. And man, and look, a lot of what Trump does, you know what I mean, in the buildup of the presidency is the same thing that Carpathia do. It's crazy. I'm not making this up.
Foundations for what the authors hope is a radically different White House in waiting. The Democrats, the other side, have made Project 2025 a key election attack point.
Project 2025 will destroy America. Look it up.
And they have escalated their efforts to attach Donald Trump directly to the project.
But Donald Trump wants to take our country backward. He and his extreme Project 2025 agenda will weaken the middle class. Like, we know we got to take this seriously. Can you believe they put that thing in writing?
You ever seen a document that could kill a small animal and democracy at the same time? Here it is.
Well, they say a lot of truth is said in jest, right? This would inherently change politics as we know it. Let's just be real. But so what? It ain't been working for niggas no way. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's just be real about this shit. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's just be real. We're going to get into what Owaspi got to say about times like this too, and these new revelations. But let's get into it a little more, because now look, notice the left or the Democrats, they trying to tie this thing to Trump, right? Desperately trying to tie it to Trump, but while at the same time, Trump is desperately trying not to be tied to it. So that means they both know something is inherently wrong with Project 2025. Something is inherently wrong. Right? Or else Trump would have just claimed it. What you scared of? He had to get in the White House first. So this is why looking at Project 2025 and what's coming up, so you can see what's on the horizon, is important. Because regardless to what this lying ass orange nigga is saying, he with this 2025 shit. Watch this. I can prove that to you. Watch this. Let's keep cooking.
I'm Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow, and this is Project 2025.
It makes it very clear, if Trump gets reelected, that this is what they will do, and they've laid it all out. So we thought it was important to share in very plain language, because most people are not going to read a 900-page policy document, what it actually means for regular people, to draw a contrast. As much energy as there is around Kamala Harris right now that feels fun and joyful and hopeful, I still think it's important that we draw the contrast to who Trump is and what a Trump presidency would mean for Americans.
It's been claimed that the Democrats have isolated $370 million in TV ads to reach voters.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Project 2025 has become a trending topic across social media, spawning videos highlighting the perceived dangers that it poses to the climate, academia, abortion rights, the working class, people of color, and the liberal state.
This Project 2025 blueprint is backed by more than 100 conservative groups, and it is presented as a vision built by conservatives for conservatives. We asked the Heritage Foundation for an interview. In an emailed statement, a spokesman said the Project 2025 team is unavailable at the moment for an interview. Now let's go back to Schedule F and stay tuned here because it is complicated, but it is at the very heart of all this. Schedule F was an executive order signed by Donald Trump in 2020 in his last months as president. He never acted on it because he lost the elections.
How many of y'all knew that? That really what they already got, that they fighting for in Schedule F, already been put into effect. But your boy Biden and them shot this down. So they coming back on the second time. 45, 47. You did what I'm talking about? President 45 and President 47 is coming back to initiate F. So if don't nothing get pushed, let's take notice of what F does. Because he already signed this. Watch. Let's pay attention. Pay attention.
Soon after. But had he actioned it, Schedule F would have given him presidential control over the rights and protections for tens of thousands of civil servants, allowing him to hire and fire them at will. During Trump's first term, he often grew frustrated with federal government employees.
Is this not, for everybody who's ever read the Left Behind series, is this not exactly what Carpathia did? Am I making this up? I did read the book, right? There are like 14, 15 of them books. Is this not what he did? He gave himself the control to pick and eliminate who he wanted to at will. That is Schedule F. Pay close attention. Huh? We just want you to know what's coming. Right? To get yourself ready so you're not affected. This is why I asked the question. Project 2025, what is it and does it affect Fasithists? A lot of this, as we see, is Tim Lane, Jerry Jenkins, put you up on game, Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. Who is that? Who is that, Bishop X? You talking about in this thing? That's his name? The guy who talking? Because I never heard of them. No, they didn't put me up on game because actually, when you go and look into this stuff, if you're looking for confirmation bias, you're gonna find it. Oh yeah, that is right. That they is name. Tim LaHaye and Jerry Jenkins. Listen, I'm just saying, years and years and years ago when I read this stuff, it's now calling into something that I've already read. I already knew this. This was back in the back of my brain somewhere, and I just had to see it in action, and it was just like deja vu. Boom. I know where I've seen this before. I'm just asking, how did Carpathia turn out? How did the nigga who followed him turn out? Okay. All right. All righty then. Hey, share the live, man. Thumb up the video, man. Make sure you subscribed. You dig what I'm saying? Share the live out on your social medias. You dig what I'm talking about? I know our people get spooky sometimes, but that's not what we do over here. We bring that real ism and let you know how it affects you and how you can apply the knowledge today. Right? This is why we're talking about what's coming down a month or two down the pipeline. So you can already, see what you got to do so you're not afraid. Because fear will make you make a bad move. Huh? Now, and if they come in with something like this, I bet you they gonna offer something. Just how they do. Just how they do. Take something, give you something on one hand, take something on the other hand. Huh? Ain't that America? Y'all stay sharp.
He felt they were preventing him from enacting his policy agenda.
Hold on, I'm gonna go
if
back.
They were Guard's first term, he often grew frustrated with federal elections for tens of because he lost the election soon after. But had he actioned it, Schedule F would have given him presidential control over the rights and protections for tens of thousands of civil servants, allowing him to hire and fire them at will. During Trump's first term, he often grew frustrated with federal government employees. He felt they were preventing him from enacting his policy agenda. If they were guardrails, he saw them as barriers.
In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
The order aims to replace government employees with political appointees, those loyal to the president. So a president who takes all this up could fire scientists calling for greater action on climate change or birth control and replace them.
That was crazy. Hold on, we got to go back and listen to that, because he said everything except I'm your God. He said everything but I'm your savior. That was crazy. Watch this, y'all. I didn't see this. See, I don't really do the political game, because I know it don't matter what happened while the monkey is dancing and the grinder music is going on. I'm paying attention to the man behind them who making the monkey dance. The monkey is Trump. I'm worried about the nigga behind the green curtain turning the grinder. You dig what I'm talking about? So we watching him right now. We just watching the monkey dance.
He felt they were preventing him from enacting his policy agenda. If they were guardrails, he saw them as barriers.
If they was guardrails, he saw them as barriers.
I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
I am your savior. I am your orange God. You hear me? Huh? I am the God of the man piece. I have a very great set of hair. Very great. You know, we're gonna make America toupee again. Don't act like this nigga your friend. I know y'all happy on the higher. Oh, yeah. But don't forget this nigga's a snake. Huh? He was raised up by some of the best crooks. His OG, y'all don't know who Trump OG is, do you? Who raised him up, huh? If Trump gangster, what he got raised up by? Huh? If Trump is a gangster, what he get raised up by? Gangster, one of the best. Y'all ain't even never heard of this nigga. Huh? This is why he's so cut and dry. This is why he's so media savvy. Huh? I'm gonna suggest y'all go see a movie after this too. Y'all ain't seen that movie on Cohen and Trump, have y'all? Watch this. Hold on, Cosmon, I'm up early cooking, nigga. Y'all, what?
The order aims to replace government employees with political appointees, those loyal to the president. So a president who takes all this up could fire scientists calling for greater action on climate change or birth control and replace them with loyal, even unqualified employees who would roll back or dismantle existing policies and without congressional approval.
Reinstating Schedule F is a top priority for Project 2025 and for Donald Trump.
Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively.
Woo! That's what they're afraid of. Now what? Now you see why the Democrats is afraid, and now you also see what the Republicans was hiding. But it gets, but wait, it gets worse. We're gonna keep cooking. I keep telling y'all, this is not even two heads of the same snake. This is just two sides of one snake's head, right? One is painted blue, one is painted red, right? But notice it's only one mouth biting you. It only feeds one stomach because it is one snake. Whether it's called Kamala or whether it's called Trump, they not your friends, not yours.
And this is where Project 2025 comes back in with their conservative LinkedIn.
March into office and bring a new army of aligned, trained, and essentially weaponized conservatives ready to do battle against the deep state.
There you go.
The plans have become so controversial that Donald Trump has tried to distance himself from the project after months of Democrats sounding the alarm. He's realized maybe that it's become a political liability. And so he's claimed to know nothing of Project 20.
This is why, Jerome, we bring the information forward, because knowledge is power. Why? Because knowledge dispels fear. If you know this is coming, if you know a bullet coming, what you supposed to do? Step to the side. This is why knowledge is power. But yes, our people are and were afraid. This is what we here for. You dig what I'm talking about? To dispel all of that, bro. You dig what I'm talking about? To dispel all the myth, all the talk. You dig what I'm talking about? And let you all know, still in the, okay, we may have skipped. No, we may have missed a bullet to the head with Kamala. But you still got hit in the knee with Trump. And we want you to know what the fuck is about to be, excuse my French, what is going to be happening, right? And what these folks didn't say it out their mouth, they about to do. Right? You can, if you don't believe nothing else, anything that gives them self-aggrandizement and power, they are going to do that. And that is what Schedule F does. Now, Schedule F, both being fair, can swing both ways. Because if you had good people at the top to run it, well then, yeah, you can just get rid of the crooked people. You did what I'm talking about that you know is crooked, and go ahead and run with your government. Yeah, it could work in that way. But nigga, you crooked. You crooked. Your homeboys crooked. Your homeboys KKK. Your homeboys militia homies. Huh? Let's not get it twisted. In the end of the day, it still get the nigga. Excuse my French, but I speak English. Huh? You ain't got no friend but me. How you gonna turn a gun on me now? Huh? You starting to see? We getting backed into a corner. Neither one of these niggas is your friend. Because just like this could go right, boy, this can go left.
2025, or the people behind.
Think about it. Who gonna check it? Think about this. I just want y'all to think about this before we go on. Your president, the 47th president of the United States, right? Donald J. Trumpavarius, nigga. This nigga got 34 felonies that he been convicted of. He at least a 36-time felon. Woo. You dig what I'm talking about? Niggas forget about that impeachment and all that. Niggas forget about that. Woo. You got a president who got 34 felonies, nigga. Let that sink in. The game done, well, actually, the game done stayed the same.
But how credible is that, really?
Trump and Roberts know each other well. Here they are on a private jet together in 2022. Trump has spoken at heritage events. Listen to this endorsement.
With Kevin and the staff, and I met so many of them now, I took pictures with among the most handsome, beautiful people I've ever seen. I didn't like that picture. If you could lose that picture, please, would you, Kevin? But this is a great, no, he says I won't do that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America, and that's coming.
Yet, at a rally in Michigan this summer, he said this.
Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left.
So there we are, two entirely contradictory statements by the same man about the same group.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
It does seem clear, though, that many of Project 2025's policies do overlap with Trump's official policy proposal.
I don't want to read it purposely.
Contradictory statements by the same man about the same group.
Now, he done already gave a contradictory statement. Hey, little dog, hold on, come here. Stop chewing up everything. Now, we didn't see you say, oh, we don't know these people. Did turn around and say, oh, these are great people. We're going to watch Trump lie. Now, I want y'all to tell me, if y'all think Trump is about to tell the truth about what he's saying, hit me with a 1. If he's saying he didn't read this and he don't want to read it, he don't know nothing about it, right? If you believe him, hit me with a 1 in the chat. If you think this nigga lying, if you think he lying, hit me with a 2 in the chat. Watch this. Let's cook. Let's put some paprika on this thing, turn the heat up.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
And about the same group.
Is he lying?
Nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
It does seem clear.
You see how Kamala looked at that nigga, you lying. If he told the truth, press 1. If he told the lie, press 2. Man, that nigga lie. I see them twos coming in. He lying, bro. He told that bold-faced lie. So Trump is, he may not be a politician, but he's definitely an actor. He definitely an actor. He told that lie straight face, didn't he? Well, I've never met these guys. Hey, guys. I did not read 2025, and I don't want to read 2025. Personally, I don't know anything about it. Nigga, you lie.
Here, though, that many of Project 2025's policies do overlap with Trump's official policy proposals called Agenda 47.
In a conversation with the tech billionaire Elon Musk on X, Trump said that he would dismantle the Department of Education if he wins the White House in November.
And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk, I need somebody that has a lot of strength and courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states.
I think you're making a good point.
That policy, for one, is included in this Project 2025.
See? I can't be mad at that, though. If we know, listen, first of all, we pump billions of dollars into our schooling system, and then we still got failing kids. Well, something got to be done. The federal system, first of all, even every state, right, in its own state, your lottery is supposed to take care of your schools. Did you know that? You know how many millions of dollars your lottery take in every day? Them little dollars and all that stuff add up. And this is what they had to take out of the hands of the Negroes in the early 1900s to the 1920s and 1930s, because they was pulling this type of money. They got it in with the mob. The mob ended up having to turn it over to the United States government. This is follow the money, right? Elon not your homie neither. He trying to capitalize and do what he want to do, and Trump is the nigga that's going to allow him to get it done. Yeah, Trump called him Trump called Elon his favorite African American. Trump know what's going on. Listen, I can't be mad at him because he playing the game. But you got to understand, it is a game. This is why Jaja tell us, don't be so tied up in this stuff. Let's keep going.
On education, the handbook says that federal education policy should be limited, and ultimately the Federal Department of Education should be eliminated. The president of the Heritage Foundation has praised what he sees as the dovetailing of Project 2025 and Trump's Agenda 47, saying the overlap is tremendous. When asked for his reaction to Trump's dismissal of Project 2025, he said, well, I think that's the sign of a great leader who understands that he's in a terrific political news cycle. So no hard feelings from any of us at Project 2025 about the statement, because we understand that Trump is the standard bearer and he's making a political, tactical decision there.
Do he sound like he worried about Trump saying he not, I don't know. I've never read it, guys. Right? No. Do it sound like they mad? No. Why? We're going to show that a little further, too. In the next
At least 140 people linked to Project 2025 served in some form in Trump's last administration. Reporters for two investigative organizations called Documented and ProPublica have obtained 14 hours worth of private training videos for Project 2025. They found that 29 of the 36 speakers in the videos have worked for Trump in some capacity.
Hello, my name is Jeff Small. I was a presidential appointee in the Trump administration.
I am a former political appointee in the Donald J. Trump administration.
I served as the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the Department of Homeland Security. And I was also a spokesman at the Department of Justice.
And you stayed until the final hour.
Yeah. Shocking that I made it. Yes.
It's amazing.
The spin is that this is an agenda overwhelmingly popular among conservatives.
In these rallies among Trump's base, many of the policies seem popular enough, but beyond here, well, not so much. The question unanswered for now is whether Project 2025 really does form a blueprint for a Trump second term. If he wins, and it does, well, then America will need to brace for fundamental political and societal change.
Which I might say might be good for America.
We begin today's show with a new undercover video that.
But remember, let me show you why they not worried about it. If y'all learning a little something about what 2025 is, hit me with a 3 in the chat real quick. Y'all getting a little something up out of this. Y'all learning about the Project 2025, about what it is, right? But let me show you this. See, this is how you know it's some BS in the game. How sneaky the rollout is. You dig what I'm talking about? How sneaky the little rollout is. How they got this little wink, wink, a little white guy wink, wink. You dig what I'm talking about? I don't like that. I done been in them rooms. You dig what I'm talking about? Where I done seen the wink, wink go down, and I just so happened to be in, and we did something terrible to people. I ain't saying because I'm better than them. I'm saying because I know, because I was there. I've been in them places where them winks and set off things, right? And they done caught these niggas, right? See, never underestimate what they say in Tony Montana. Scarface, he said, never underestimate the other man's greed. Right? If y'all got a little something up out of that, you're learning a little something about it, hit me with a 3 in the chat. All right? Boom. Let's go a little further because, see, we're going to show you why they wasn't worried. Right? Because they know something you don't know. Right? These boys not about to put all that money and time and effort into this. You dig what I'm talking about? And they ain't got no assurances in the background. Right? Now watch this dude they about to catch, right? Because they about to set him up. Right? Now, the crazy part is what you're about to watch is not in effect legal. Right? But it's not unlawful. You dig what I'm talking about? It's not unlawful, and yet it's not truly legal. How they break this down and the implications of this wink wink behind the scenes chuckle activity. You dig what I'm talking about? And I've been around some crazy ass white boys. You dig what I'm talking about? These niggas, they think they threatened or something. You dig what I'm talking about? It's a problem. You know what I mean? So never underestimate the other guy's greed, though. Huh? Because they were setting these niggas up and they caught them. Watch this.
Shows the co-author of Project 2025 bragging about his ties to Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, even as Trump is trying to distance himself from the right-wing blueprint for his potential second term. The video features Russell Vought, who is director of the Trump White House Office of Management and Budget. It shows Vought meeting in a 5-star Washington, D.C. hotel with 2 men he thought were relatives of a wealthy conservative donor. But Vought was actually talking to 2 undercover reporters with the Center for Climate Reporting, an independent British news outlet. They were secretly recording him. In a minute, one of those reporters will join us. But first, this is the video report accompanying their new investigation. It's called Undercover in Project 2025, the secretive second phase and the radical policies for rollout on day 1.
Now watch this. You use your own spiritual eye. You use your own spiritual ears. And you use your own spiritual discernment. And you tell me if this guy is up to something good. Now, mind you, he is already in the Trump thing. And he works for 2025. And this guy right here, Russell Vought, who they set up and they got up here, he is going to be the man who literally hands the 2025 over to Trump. The policy, right? So we know that this is going to happen, right? Let's look and see what they're talking about. Look, and you tell me if this man is out to do something good. Watch.
Two undercover reporters posing as donors are about to meet one of the key architects of Project 2025, the radical plan for Trump's second term, in a hotel suite rigged with hidden cameras.
Nice to meet you. Would you like coffee or something? I'd love coffee, yeah.
Meet Russ Vogt.
Russell Vogt, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget.
He's been called the most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's a Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vogt were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin.
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
He now runs a group called Center for Renewing America. The most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
Russell Vogt, the most dangerous MAGA diehard you have never heard about. None of y'all know about this dude. Then none of y'all know he working for Trump now. Should be real. These the people you got to worry about. Because these are the people who are truly demonic. It may not even be Trump. But it's sure enough this guy. Watch.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's a Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vogt were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin.
To the Department of Education because I think it's a Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vogt were
You see, dog? This is one of the biggest flaming racists in the world. And they all in this heritage group together. One of the biggest nationalist, racist, prejudiced motherfuckers in the world. He worked for Trump too. Birds of a feather.
Comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin.
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
He now runs a group called Center for Renewing America.
An organization that I helped turn into the Death Star that is accomplishing all the debates that you are reading about. I think you have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history, block funding for Planned Parenthood. I want to be the person that crushes the deep state.
Vogt is one of the key authors of the blueprint for a second Trump administration.
Project 2025.
It's an ambitious 920-page blueprint.
Like eliminating the Department of Education,
the mass firings of civil servants,
banning access to the abortion pill, and further restricting abortion rights.
In recent weeks, the plans have become so controversial that Trump has been forced to distance himself.
They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is. It's Project 25.
Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25. I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document.
But behind closed doors, Vogt tells us not to take Trump.
Now, see what they do is, why he can say that with a straight face is he may have never even seen the document. Literally, I mean, just literally seen it. But he's had his subservients read the document to him. Absolutely. They know everything that's in that document. It'd be dumb not to. Hey, get out of there. Little bad butt, man. What's wrong with you today? You just want to. Indeed, like all presidents, they straw men. You know what I mean? Scarecrows. Yes, sir. You dig what I'm saying? But these niggas around him is evil. If you can get a scarecrow to hold a gun, right? You can get the one with no brain to hold the gun and pull the trigger. That man is super deadly. And then if you put that man in the highest seat in the nation, it's a recipe for disaster. But look at the cronies around him.
Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's
He already
Project
expected
2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against a brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting. He's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. He's been at our organization. He's raised money for our organization. He's blessed it from I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
Our investigation into Project 2025 began 2 weeks.
So now we know for a fact Trump lying. Because the nigga who wrote it said he explained it to him. Did we just hear that? The dude who wrote the Project 2025 just said out of his mouth, he didn't know he was being recorded, that he explained it to Trump while Trump was on a money-making mission for them. Mind you, he been in his cipher since the first presidency. Didn't we just catch him? So remember, ain't none of these dudes your friends.
Before the meeting with Vote, at a conference for religious nationalists in D.C.
The truth is, Christian nationalism is not a threat to American democracy.
Funny part is, could none of us went in there and set him up. Shout out to these white boys, and this shows you that there's good white folks doing something out here, whether it comes selfishly or not. Right? The work that they doing, dog went undercover to catch him. You dig what I'm talking about? Dog went undercover. There was no way none of this was coming out. Unless some people who they think are like-minded. This is white privilege. And this is why you got to have white friends and teach them how to use their white privilege, because they can get in places your little brown skin can't get into. And people will speak more freely. Huh? We got to get us some white boy with some guts, right? We need some more white boys like this guy. Not him.
Christian nationalism founded American democracy.
Journalists from the Center for Climate Reporting have come posing as potential donors, looking to meet those involved in Project 2025. They're not hard to find. The Heritage Foundation, the group running the project, are here. So is Vote's think tank. We make the acquaintance of Mika Meadowcroft, an author on Project 2025 and a close aide to Vote. He tells us that Vote is running the secretive second phase of Project 2025.
The second phase after the book came out was to break down actual sort of policy packets and executive orders and agenda items, things like that. That's been supervised largely by us.
The first phase of Project 2025 was a 922-page policy book published openly. The second phase is a comprehensive, concrete transition plan for each federal agency. These much more detailed plans are confidential.
Yeah. Because obviously you want as little of it to be FOIA-able, if you're familiar with the FOIA process, as possible.
Freedom of Information Act, yeah.
The Freedom of Information Act allows the public to request government communications, but Meadowcroft reveals they plan to avoid these rules.
Yeah, the goal is, familiarize all the transition team people with these plans.
Yeah.
But you don't actually send them to their work emails because then, you could just give the handbooks to everyone. You're like, this is the game plan for the admin.
Yeah.
If the press knows that that's what you're doing, then they're going to immediately just say, I request all of your emails from Heritage.
Okay.
Now you see, does it sound like that they're doing something above board? Or does it sound like they're trying to hide something? We see Trump hiding, lying. He just got caught. Dog is over here tapped in. He doing the soft shoe shuffle. You dig what I'm talking about? This boy is doing the presidential parlay. You dig what I'm talking about? This boy is just straight O-land. You dig what I'm saying? He's sweating, scratching. Fake white guy laughing. Yes, you know how they laugh off doing something evil. Look. I ain't making this up. This is a white boy setting up another white boy. Cosmo's not making this up. Shout out to the dude Lawrence right here on the right. Huh? I think only Fasithists do all the good things in this world. Huh? Setting up crooks, right? And exposing because see, these type of guys on your left with this Heritage Foundation, they part of the deep state too. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them trick you. Huh? And this is what you got to go do to expose these type of niggas. And dudes like Russell Vault.
To everyone. You're like, this is the game plan for the admin.
Yeah.
If the press knows that that's what you're doing, then they're going to immediately just say, I request all of your emails from Heritage. Give the handbook with these.
Request government communications. But Meadowcroft reveals they plan to avoid these rules.
Yeah, the goal is, familiarize all the transition team people with these.
First of all, that's illegal. Let's just look. This is illegal. This means they could push all type of shit. Listen, man. Y'all better get right. Watch.
To be FOIA-able, if you're familiar with the FOIA process, as possible.
Freedom of Information Act, yeah.
The Freedom of Information Act allows the public to request government communications. But Meadowcroft reveals they plan to avoid these rules.
Yeah, the goal is, familiarize all the transition team people with these plans.
Yeah.
But you don't actually send them to their work emails because then, you could just give the handbooks to everyone. You're like, this is the game plan for the admin.
Yeah.
If the press knows that that's what you're doing, then they're going to immediately just say
So this is why they was having the schooling. Remember part of the 2025 where they had the schooling, right? This is just that adjustment period where they make sure you know the book and the playbook by heart. They're gonna make you a team player.
I request all of your emails from Heritage.
Okay.
You
right.
Worker.
I see.
So we'll see.
Interesting.
Meadowcroft offers to set up a meeting with his boss, Russ Vogt.
You could put me in touch with somebody who looks after his diary or whatever.
Yes, I can put you in touch with his schedule. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Great.
So just tell me when to do that.
We want to meet the man writing the game plan for Trump's second administration. Vogt believes that in his first term, Trump's agenda was frustrated by what he calls the deep state. So Vogt is planning a radical centralization of government power under the president, firing civil servants and ending the independence of agencies like the FBI and DOJ.
80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of these bureaucracies. And we are working doggedly on that, whether it's destroying their agency's notion of independence. They're independent from the president.
Vogt has also been preparing documents based on fringe legal theories, arguing the president has the power to use the military against protesters.
George Floyd obviously was not about race. It was about destabilizing the Trump administration. We put out, for instance,
You see
a
that?
50-page paper.
You see that? He said it was about destabilizing the well, then why was the police shooting at niggas? Why was you dumping at niggas with rubber bullets? And why was the cops caught setting their own station on fire? Huh? Remember, it ain't as simple as what they say. It many times you can perceive a thing and it's totally wrong. And once you understand that they put the scene out there for you in the first place, just like they gave you Diddy, so they could hide something else that's going on. Huh? Like they just caught this nigga. You think what I'm talking about? They did this didn't get a lot of pub.
Designed for lawyers to know that the president has, the ability both along the border and elsewhere to maintain law and order with the military, and that's something that it's going to be important for him to remember and his lawyers to affirm. But we've given them the case for that.
With loyalists installed in key government agencies and armed with his playbook, Vogt believes a radical Christian nationalist agenda can be realized under a second Trump presidency. For example, on abortion.
So I think the president's actually come up with a strategy that works, so long as you are giving people like me in the government the ability to block funding for Planned Parenthood, block funding for fetal tissue research. But what I've told people is he had the most pro-life record ever. I've never seen him take it to stand in the way of a pro-life initiative that actually was real, politically and with momentum.
And for Vogt, Trump's pick for vice president shows he's serious about pushing this ideological agenda when in power.
Y'all want to know who JD Vance is? Y'all really want to know who JD Vance is? Right? This JD Vance teacher right here. Russell Vaught. Watch this.
I think it's transformative for sure. And think of him as a member version of what we do.
Yeah.
So there's no think tank, no policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has and that JD has.
But as public backlash against these plans builds, the Trump campaign has been
I
scrambling
didn't hear
to
that at
distance
first.
themselves.
I think Donald Trump has.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So I'm very happy with the JD pick. I think it's transformative for sure. And think of him as a member version of what we do.
Yeah.
So there's no think tank, no policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has and that JD has. No policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has and that JD has. And no policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has and that JD has.
But as public backlash against these plans builds, the Trump campaign has been scrambling to distance themselves from Project 2025's authors.
It's complete and utter bullshit for any reporter to write that this is the way it is. The president's made it clear these people do not speak for him. They do not speak for the campaign.
But Vogt tells us that behind the scenes, things are much friendlier.
Look.
The Trump campaign recently picked him to write the Republicans' policy platform, making him essentially Project 2025's man on the inside.
I think the best example is like the campaign selected me to be the platform because of their views on my policy ideas, and they're not running from all of the negativity that I get from the press.
I see. So they haven't been spooked on you as a person, you don't think?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be their transition pick because then they have all these kinds of stories.
Yeah.
But no, the relationship is great.
The head of the Trump transition team has not yet been appointed, but Vogt says that no matter who is named, he'll be able to hand over his Project 2025 battle plans directly.
If it's someone like Stephen Miller or Bob Lighthizer.
Hold on. He said Steve Miller and Lighthizer. Let's look and see who is head of Trump's transitionary team. Who is the head of Trump's transitionary team? His first secretary, who is Howard Lutnick, Jarvis Trump. Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is Trump's transition head, right? Lutnick. Let me see who dude said he wanted. Let's see who he said he wanted. Let's go back a little bit and see who he said he wanted.
I don't think I'm going to be their transition pick because then they have all these kinds of stories.
Yeah.
But no, the relationship is great.
The head of the Trump transition team has not yet been appointed, but Vogt says that no matter who is named, he'll be able to hand over his Project 2025 battle plans directly.
If it's someone like a Stephen Miller or Bob Lighthizer, then all this stuff gets plugged right in. If it's not, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But all of it will be designed.
So it's not. It's Lutnick, but ain't no telling who the hell Lutnick. Let me see. Billionaire Trump's transition team. Hold on. Let me see. This is Trump's transition chief. Under fire for conflicts, Howard Lutnick is accused of mixing his Trump work with his personal business interests. Howard Lutnick, the co-chair of Donald Trump's transition team, is a longtime personal friend of the former president, who has led Wall Street firm Cantor Fitzgerald since 1991. Howard Lutnick, the Wall Street CEO heading up Donald Trump's transition team, is facing accusations from some Trump insiders that he is inappropriately mixing his business interests with his duties, standing up a potential administration. It says the alarm among Trump's loyalists has been compounded by the belief that Lutnick has tried to sideline a host of aides and advisors who worked in the first Trump administration in hopes of instead filling the second administration with new people who would be personally beneficial to him. I mean, yeah, he's doing that. Yeah, of course. And this is why the number F and all that, the letter the F1 and all that is all so important. The concerns were described by two people close to Trump who said they have risen all the way to the ex-president himself. They have prompted speculation that Lutnick might be demoted or made to report to another Trump loyalist on transition matters. Okay, the entire transition team is solely focused on insurance. Trump, blah, 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 blah. Let me see. You could not do that on behalf of Trump. One of ways. Okay, it just sounds like somebody hating a little bit, right? Let's go look at some of the latest stuff. Wait a minute. Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, let's go. Let's go look at some of this stuff. Meet the billionaires leading Trump's transition team. In a break from his approach in 2016, Donald Trump has turned to a pair of staunch allies from the private sector, Howard Lutnick and Linda McMahon to lead his transition effort. Lutnick is in charge of personnel while McMahon is overseeing policy. Lutnick, longtime CEO, financial services from Cantor Fitzgerald, was Trump's leading conduit to Wall Street during his year's campaign. He personally gave more than $10 million to the former president's campaign and raised more than $75 million. Dang. Scrump got $75 million from $85 million from one dude. And then, but look, the dope part is because of how the law is set up, you just get to write it off and dude get it back. So it's not like he even actually gave anything. Ain't that crazy? That's just how it is. Excuse me. It says, let's get to it. It say Lutnick's approach to leading transition has been controversial among some of Trump's orbit. He has faced accusations from some of Trump's insiders that he has been improperly mixed his business interests with his duties, standing up a potential administration. Okay, some of the same wording, literally. Concerns about potential conflicts of interest for Lutnick include Cantor Fitzgerald and his relationship with one of the most controversial cryptocurrency companies in the world, Tether, which issues a digital token that is pegged to the value of the US dollar. And is reportedly under federal investigation. Might have to look into this Tether. You write this down. Perfect word too. Or Tether. I'm gonna look into this a little later. Let me just hold on. Let me tap it. Let me just see what it say. Oh, this from the Wall Street Journal too. Oh. Federal investigators probe cryptocurrency firm Tether. Authorities looking at possible violations of anti-money laundering and sanction rules. We'll get back to it. Okay, so dog a gangster. Yeah, he a Wall Street gangster. No less a gangster. Some Trump allies have also accused him of working to sideline advisors who worked the Trump well, that's the same thing you just said before. We're not gonna keep crying, doing all that. You got to come with something new. I promise. Lutnick's camp has denied the accusation, like he's supposed to. The entire transition team solely focused. The same one. I promise you, did great. Greatest field of people to ever walk into the government is going to join him on January 20th. McMahon served in Trump's first administration and as head of small business administration from 2017 2019. Let's go down a little bit more. Because McMahon is going to be the one making forces behind transforming the world wrestling entertainment from a small business to a multi-billion-dollar business. I knew that was that Linda McMahon. What? I knew that was her. That's Linda McMahon. That is. That's crazy. From the WWE. That is Linda McMahon. That's Vince McMahon's wife. Dang. That is correct. I did not know that. I did not know that. Did y'all know that? That Vince McMahon wife is in the transition party for Trump? I mean, the WWE do make that money. And who else to better to pick for personnel? Oh my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. I didn't see this coming. I didn't even look at this, y'all. I was just, I just happened to go on a little rabbit hole real quick. Hold on, let's get back to the video. I forgot the video.
For a theory of the case that President, if a battle plan is out there that will do what he wants, there are people like me that have his trust that will be able to get it to him in whatever position we're at, or I could be at Center for New America, but the relationships will be there. The trust level will be there.
Project 2025's Radical Phase 1 policy book turned into a PR disaster.
The director of Project 2025 has stepped down after facing criticism from both Democrats and the Trump campaign.
But Vote's Phase 2 battle plans, top secret and handed directly to the transition team, remain unburdened by the brand.
And are you going to rebrand that second phase at all?
For what I do,
yeah,
the brand's not important.
And you're not worried that if it has Project 2025 on, he's going to go
no.
And you're not going to publish those?
No.
They go straight to.
Yeah, they're very, very close hold.
Okay.
Brilliant. It's been an education.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Anytime.
Thank you. Straight to.
Yeah, they're very, very close hold.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Watch this.
Rebrand that second phase at all.
For what I do,
yeah,
the brand's not important.
And you're not worried that if it has Project 2025 on, he's going to go
no.
And you're not going to publish those?
No.
They go straight to.
Yeah, they're very, very close hold.
Okay.
Brilliant. It's been an education.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Anytime.
Thank you very much. You can show us that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's the full video report that accompanies a major new investigation by the Center for Climate Reporting. It's called Undercover in Project 2025.
This is crazy. Right? But I think this is a perfect use of white privilege. This is what I want my white friends to do. Shout out to the real white folks out there, good folks. You dig what I'm talking about? They not with the BS. They don't want none. They just good people too. But they understand that because of what happened. Look, dog. You know what I mean? Let me try to work and twerk this for you. Huh? It's not that I owe you, it's that I love you. I see how the system works. Let me see if I can twerk you in with it. Ain't that what a friend would do? Just saying. We got friends in all type of skin colors. We ain't worried about no skin color. We worried about, are you good? We worried about, are you in ascension spiritually, or are you in declension spiritually? That's what we worry about. Is you good? That's what we worried about. Huh?
Secretive second phase and the radical policies set for rollout on day one. For more, we're joined by Lawrence Carter, founder and director of the Center for Climate Reporting. He is joining us via audio only from the West Midlands in the UK because he's an undercover journalist and needs to remain anonymous for his work. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Lawrence. If you can start off by talking about the significance of what you found and more on who Vote is and their response.
Hi, Abby. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think for us, the investigation really crystallized around the time that you started to see these big disavowals from the Trump campaign from Project 2025. Previously, it kind of seemed like an unspoken kind of collaboration almost, where Trump went to the Heritage Foundation in the month that they launched Project 2025 and seemed to sort of give it his blessing. Obviously, then it became this huge political issue, very unpopular proposals in the big policy book that they produced. And recently, you've seen Trump's campaign managers really, as you saw in the film, really aggressively attacking Project 2025. But our kind of hypothesis was that that was kind of window dressing, and actually the relationships are there. And so we went undercover, and that is kind of was borne out by our investigation that there's this secretive second phase of Project 2025. Russ Vought is overseeing a sort of pipeline of 350 detailed blueprints, that's executive orders, secretarial memos, all designed to ensure that this kind of radical agenda that the conservative movement has in the US can be implemented from day one. They want to make sure that the mistakes from the first Trump administration, as they see them, where not much got done, are avoided this time round, and they're really able to sort of upend the way in which the United States is governed. There are some specifically shocking findings of the investigation in terms of the policy proposals that they were put forward, and these are kind of things that are in the book, but which, when you kind of speak about them in detail, become kind of all the more.
Right there, you got to kind of be careful. When somebody tell you they're going to do something, right, one way, and then you find out that they going to do what they told you they going to do, but what they were doing got a whole second rollout. It's something totally different than what you actually voted for and rolled out, but it's under the auspices of these things that you was about. You was good with them. But it turned out to be something else totally, with a whole second run out and implications behind the second unfolding. That's a problem. Right? Because right there, that means everything you told me in the get-go was a total lie. It's a problem.
More important from a kind of public interest perspective. And that's largely around the way in which he talked about the mass deportations that they want to carry out, and which is actually in the GOP platform, which the Trump campaign actually.
Mass deportations, well, niggas ain't going nowhere. We not worried about them. We from here. Before anybody else was here, before the Native Americans was here, we was here. Let that sink in. You're right. It's only one American.
He asked Mr. Vought to oversee.
In fact, right? Now, in law, but for sure, genetically, there's only one American.
So the largest deportation in history, as he calls it, has kind of come from the conservative movement via Project 2025. It is also a key campaign promise of the Trump campaign. And he talked about the deportations, these mass, like millions of people being deported, as a way in which to achieve a goal, which is to end multiculturalism in the United States.
Wow.
We asked him, what's going to happen when there's protests against that, and he said, well, we've been preparing kind of legal arguments for bringing in the military to quell protests by US citizens. So those are sort of a few of the findings that we thought were most important. But obviously, overall, you've got this kind of quite radical agenda, and then you've got a man who's very much on the inside of Trump world, who is kind of very adept at getting things done, and kind of has said he can get these plans directly into the hands of Donald Trump.
And why you, a British news organization, the Center for Climate Reporting, why you're so interested in Project 2025, and why you felt...
Now, this is a great question, right? That is a great... Why you so goddamn interested? What skin you got in the game? Everybody be always looking to the left, but when you look back to the right, Mm-hmm. Why you so interested? Mm-hmm. It's a great question. And he kind of, watch this, he kind of shuffled on this. Instead of saying, ba ba ba, ba ba ba, ba da da. Right? And that's why I feel what I feel. Watch what he say. Watch this.
Your team felt it was essential to be undercover as you continue to, even you as head of the organization, not wanting to show your face.
So yeah, we're a global organization. Like, we're registered in the UK, but we've got reporters in New York, Berlin, and London. And this really was part of a project that we've started a few months ago, looking at populist movements around the world. And this investigation actually started by looking at the populist movements in Europe. There's just been some big European elections, and the populist parties in Europe have really kind of come to power and have kind of got much more influence in the European Union.
Huh? Hold on. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? I ain't even never heard of this. The European Populist Party? Never heard of it. Let's look it up. When you don't know something, first of all, admit you don't know it and then go look it up. What did he call it? The European what? Hold on. What did he call it?
Union at the moment, and so our and the populist parties in Europe have really kind of come to power and have kind of got much more influence in.
Hold on. European populist parties.
Italy and the League in Italy, the National Rally, formerly the National Front, in France, the Party for Freedom in the Forum for Democracy in the Netherlands, National Alliance in Latvia, the Conservative People's Party of
Populist Party. European Populist Party vote share on the rise. What are the ideologies of the European Populist Party? I just looked at that too. Let's check. Let me see what year this is from. What year? 2021, and then I got one with source from 2022. This is from. Can everybody see that? Yep. European populism from left to right. Oh, they got some hellified dudes up here. Populists have been on the rise for several decades now. Of course, the prominence of these parties and movements that fall into this category fluctuates over time. Unexpected electoral successes are sometimes followed by sudden and unpredictable setbacks that immediately make such advances appear as a mere feverish outburst. The truth is that contemporary populism has taken root in most European societies, overturning party systems and changing the foundations of our democracies. Populism is a political phenomenon that takes the form of movements and leaders who proclaim a major rift between supposedly united, good, and virtuous people and a homogeneous, perverse elite permanently plotting against the former. Dang. Consequently, populists assert the boundless sovereignty of the people, which must be expressed through unlimited referendums and the intrinsic superiority of direct democracy over what they consider to be outdated forms of liberal and representative democracy. According to populists, no issue is complicated. There are only simple and immediate solutions. Their fundamental Manichaean worldview, it's making sense. Their fundamental Manichaean worldview leads them to select scapegoats, elites, and most frequently immigrants, foreigners, Muslims, or Jews. We seeing it now. We seeing the flaw. We seeing a crack, a chink in the crack in the armor, Finally, populism is characterized by the concentration of power in the hands of a leader who supposedly embodies the people. Look, this is the problem. Right here is the problem. A lot of people, let me see if I can blow that. Look. Populism offers a belief system. Populist movement has been winning over there in Brittany, in the British Isles, lately, period. You dig what I'm talking about? I didn't know their ideology, but now we know. Populism offers a belief system, plays on emotions, cultivates nostalgia, and seeks to make people dream. Could this be the same thing and the same ideology that if y'all caught the live earlier with me and C, like what is the dude name? Tristes, Tristes, or whatever his name is. The guy who ended up inspiring the Third Reich and Hitler and all of it, right? What I was about to say with that? I was about to go somewhere with that. Could this be the same basic belief system that Tristes used to indoctrinate the Germans of that day through Hitler, right? Because Hitler was a populist, right? His system played on emotions, cultivated nostalgia for old German, to bring home the Rhineland, the fatherland, right? Make people one blood, and he's saying that there was a genetic flaw in with a people. There was one thing that all these countries that was coming against him had in common, and that was the Jew. So this is why he smashed Austria. This is why he went over there, did what he did to France and all. It is what it is. He's seen the connection. Oh, okay. And it is through a ideology of populism and an ideology, a hierarchy that they thought that they was racially better. Making people dream they could be what? Aryan gods of law. We are the return of the Raphaim. You know what I mean? And we are the Aryan gods, not knowing that Aryans was black as my shoes. They had real Black Air Force energy on their face. Areas was dark as heck. You dig what I'm talking about? Not knowing that part, right? But I get it. You dig what I'm talking about? You got duped. You got played on by a system just like anybody else, many other people have, and he took you to war. How'd that plan out for Germany? Not good. Not good. Didn't turn out to get them guys. Right? Remember, it's this same system that 2025 is. In many parts, it's the same 1-2 step with a new little twist and new little dog whistle words. Cultivating nostalgia and seeks to make people dream. It is both a composite, a flexible ideology, and merges with the remnants of traditional political cultures and a strategy for attaining power. This is how Triestis did it. It makes sense now. Once that is achieved, it turns into a political style, right? They got an enemy, somebody to blame. You dig what I'm talking about? Old England was better without the Moorish niggers and you stinky Muslim camel jockers. You're breathing up the good white man's and we don't like it. I now call in Lord Carlsman to dispatch of thee. A wide variety of populisms exist because they got a wide variety of niggas to hate out on the right and left ends of the political spectrum, yet far right ones are much more pervasive. Same in America. Look, several right-wing populists have achieved significant electoral success in recent years. This is the case in Poland, Hungary, Switzerland, Denmark, Austria, Finland, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Latvia, Sweden, Germany. Populists are in power in Hungary, Poland, and in the Czech Republic. This is crazy. You know what I mean? Let's get back to this because this is some real gangster stuff. You dig what I'm talking about?
The European Union at the moment, and so our investigation actually started there. But these are international movements. There's this huge transatlantic links. So the leads that we were following from Europe actually led to Washington D.C.
Yeah. Trump reads Hitler's books. So did I. Yeah, you better read them too. Huh? How do you think I knew how to recognize what I was looking at? Because I had already read the blueprint. Come on, y'all. You dig what I'm talking about? If I got some Fasithists in here who know that I know what I'm talking about, right? They know I'm not up here capping, that I'm putting my people on, man. Spin that vortex for your cousin. Man, hold on. I dropped the, hold on. Let me get back over here. I'll drop the link too if y'all want to come in, just chop it up. You dig what I'm saying? Hold on, let me copy that. Let me throw the link in the chat. Y'all just want to come in for a minute, come kick it with your cousin. You know what I mean? We just early morning cooking, souffling. You dig what I'm saying?
Project 2025. And it's at that point that the project has become more focused on Project 2025. Now, in terms of the undercover aspect, Undercover's got very long and respected history, actually, including in the US. You know, you can go back to the golden age of investigative journalism with Nellie Bly, who went undercover at a New York sanatorium to expose brutal conditions there. More recently, Shane Bauer from Mother Jones went undercover at a max security prison to expose the conditions there. You know, even CNN has done undercover reporting in recent years on a brilliant report on people smuggling in Nigeria. Sometimes it's the only way to get the story, and that was the case here. You know, they're going to great lengths to keep this aspect of Project 2075 secret. You could see in from Mika Meadowcroft's comments there that they don't want the American public to see what they're doing. That's why they're they're avoiding work emails, for example, in how they intend to distribute these plans. And so sometimes, you know, you could get a whistleblower maybe, but kind of in this case, we felt that going undercover was the only way in which we were going to get this story. And so we weighed up the kind of the public interest arguments in favor of doing so with the kind of, you know, the reasonable expectation of privacy that an individual has. And in this case, we felt that there was an overwhelming public interest in going undercover and kind of revealing the way in which a kind of largely dark money funded network of organizations with kind of quite radical plans that are unpopular, if you poll them, are seeking to enact that agenda. And why is a climate organization doing all this? Well, you know, the fossil fuel industry is kind of obviously a major focus of investigative organizations like mine that work on climate. But if you look at actually the sort of key threats to much needed kind of action on climate change, the rise of the populist right around the world is just as important in our view. And so that's kind of was the genesis of this project, is to start kind of looking at those movements and the threat that they pose.
I want to get your response to the statement issued Thursday by Russell Vought's nonprofit, the Center for Renewing America, which downplayed your undercover video and said it didn't reveal anything new. Spokesperson Rachel Cawley said, quote, "It would have been easier just to do a Google search to uncover what is already on our website and said in countless national media interviews. But thank you for airing our perfect conversation, emphasizing our policy work is totally separate from the Trump campaign, as we have been saying," she said. Your response, Lawrence Gardner.
Policy.
Yeah, they would say that, wouldn't they? It's clear from the recordings that they are actively seeking to keep this stuff secret. So again, going back to the comments from
that's the point. Now, first of all, you're gonna say, Cosmon, this is a stretch. I love Scrumps. He saved us from Kamala. And you know, I can, you know, call a spade and say a marginal win is a marginal win. You dig what I'm talking about? Whether being shot or stabbed, you know what I mean? It's you still getting punctured. Y'all gonna say, Cosmon, ain't no way. This nigga's Trump is that gangster. That he could, you dig what I'm talking about? First of all, pull off 34 felonies, get his own judicial picks to say that you can't indict a running or sitting president, right? So that nullified all 34 of them felonies and all that stuff. And now he about to be able to just kick out who he want to and put in who he want to. He gonna get a bunch of lapdogs, right? But y'all gonna say, Cosmo, you making this up? Ain't no way. I'm saying Trump way more gangster than y'all think he is. I'm telling y'all, Trump learned from the best.
This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. I'm Amy Goodman. We turn now.
I'm telling you, Trump learned from the best. Y'all didn't even know this. Watch this.
To what Variety magazine has called the most controversial movie of the year, and what Salon calls the movie Trump doesn't want you to see. The Apprentice is a new biopic about Donald Trump's rise to fame in the 80s and his close relationship with Roy Cohn, who served as a...
Huh? Y'all don't know who Roy Cohn is, do y'all? This one of the biggest gangsters, behind the scene movers and shakers in the world. Yeah. Go on, hit your Googles. Hit your Googles, right? And go pull this guy up. Huh? See where he was at in 1953. What he was doing. Where he at right here in this picture. Gangster. Watch this.
Chief counsel to Senator Joseph McCarthy during the Red Scare of the 1950s. Earlier this year, lawyers for Trump attempted to block screenings of the film, claiming the movie is a, quote, concoction of lies that repeatedly defames President Trump. Despite the threats, the film is opening in New York today. This is a trailer for The Apprentice.
Watch this, y'all. This is crazy.
Yes.
Hello, this is Donald Trump from Mr. Cohn. Thank you so much.
Donald who?
1, 2, 3,
Roy Cohn. Nice to meet you.
You're Roy Cohn. You're brutal.
Guilty as charged.
How do you always win?
There's rules. The first rule is attack, attack, attack.
It's going to be the finest building in the city, maybe the country, in the world.
Rule 2, admit nothing, deny everything.
There's never been anything like this, at this magnitude, this quality. Ooh, cheese balls over here.
What's rule 3? No matter what happens, you claim victory and never admit defeat. You have to be willing to do anything to anyone to win. You have a big You got to work on that.
Your face looked like an orange.
Attack, attack, attack.
Deny everything, admit nothing.
Never admit defeat.
What if you lost your fortune today?
Well, then maybe I'll run for president. I don't know.
I say, if you're indicted, you're invited.
The trailer for the new film, The Apprentice, a dramatized portrayal of Donald Trump's close relationship with Roy Cohn.
Yeah. And this is real. This is why they tried to, Trump and them tried to ban this movie. Cohen was a gangster. A true boogeyman. This is what the real boogeyman looks like. A political hitman, right? At the right hand of the president. Watch this.
In the 1980s, Roy Cohn, chief counsel to McCarthy, also largely responsible for the execution of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg in 1953. We're joined now by the award-winning Iranian-Danish filmmaker Ali Abbasi, who directed The Apprentice.
They talking about the Red Scare and all the trials and all that they brought up in 1953 when they had them people executed. That they said that they was commies or whatever, and they was over here hiding and all, and they had the people executed. Y'all got to look that up. Yep. But they about to give you some insight on the big homie Scrump.
Switch from
he come from gangster lines, bro. Don't forget, this is a New Yorker, right? And he was running with the bros, and Trump wasn't no, but look, he had big homies like this.
premiered earlier this year at the Cannes Film Festival. His previous films include Holy Spider, set in Tehran, and Border, set in and around Stockholm. Democracy Now!'s Nermeen Sheikh and I spoke to Ali earlier this week and asked him about why he decided to focus on Roy Cohn and Donald Trump in this film.
For me, The Apprentice is not a Trump biopic as such. It's about a transformative relationship of him and the mentorship of Roy Cohn. It's sort of a buddy movie for two villains, if you like, or two superheroes, or two anti-heroes, whichever way you want to look at it. And Roy was a wonderfully colorful character. He was, as you were mentioning.
Thumb up the video, share the live, man. Support the channel. It's your boy Cosmoni. Let's go.
A legal wonder kid coming, I think it was 21, 22 when he joined the legal team of Joseph McCarthy and was very instrumental in sort of persecuting this whole sort of the Red Scare. And after that, actually, he was also involved in Lavender Scare, which was persecuting homosexuals in federal government, himself being a closeted gay man.
What?
Anyways, later in 60s, he starts his law practice in New York. But after that, actually, he was also involved in Lavender Scare, which was persecuting homosexuals in federal government, himself being a closeted gay man. Anyways, later in 60s,
nasty work. Oppressing gay people while you gay on the low. Nasty work.
He starts his law practice in New York.
Question, who inspiring him?
New York, but what he really does there, he becomes sort of a fixer and a socialite where he connects people. He has immense political power. He's good friends with Richard Nixon. He knows a lot of people. He, at some point he's repping all the 5 mob families in New York at the same time. And Annie Warhol and people from Studio 54 and celebrities and politicians and you name it. And I think that he was also a PR genius. He was extremely good at sort of getting hang of, media. All the reporters loved him. He was, very good at getting stuff out there. And he was the person who sort of built Trump as a person, as a brand, as an identity from.
Sound familiar? Everything that he said about the big homie is Trump today. Why? Because he learned from the best. Roy Cohn represented all 5 families of La Cosa Nostra at the same time. He was the liaison between La Cosa Nostra and the FBI. So he would have known Lucky Luciano. That means he also cut the deals between the Jewish mob. Meyer Lansky and them boys. Just saying. Your boy, it's not far-fetched that this stuff can be put into action because he learned from the best. Gangster. Real gangster.
From ground up in a way, and taught him to create his own reality when he needs.
I mean, you also said about the film that it's about the American system.
That's right.
System that allowed someone like Roy Cohn to operate in the way that he did. So was there something about the system that you wanted to convey in the film?
Yeah. Look, I'm born and raised in Iran, and as such, I have this sort of outside view of the American politics and justice and legal system. And I think, this system was not created by Donald Trump. It wasn't created even by Roy Cohn. This system is in place, and these people are very good at navigating. You can see it with Fred Trump, who was Donald's dad. You know, he wanted his.
It's called capitalism, sir. It's called capitalism. And you are correct. It is the backbone, sort of, in a sense, of at least the corporate USA. Yeah. It's there. He right. Being objective, you dig what I'm talking about? Just being right. He just didn't call it capitalism. But he said, yeah, it's the backbone. That dog eat dog. You know what I mean?
His sons and children to become killers.
Hold
You know, see it with Roy. You can see it with Fred Trump. If either you're a killer or you're killed, and that sort of ideological backbone is there. You know, you can see it with Donald. You can see it with Roy. You can see it with Fred Trump, who was Donald's dad. You know, he wanted his sons and children to become killers. You know.
And speaking of which, in terms of the film, the attempted killing of the film, Cannes Film Festival, 11-minute standing ovation, but also a legal letter from the Trump campaign team. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, we got it didn't take long. And we got this cease and desist letter. And basically what it says is, if you attempt to distribute this rubbish and whatnot and try to interfere in our election with foreign money and a guy from Iran and all the sort of, it wasn't really addressed to me or Gabe as much as it was addressed to Gabe Sherman, right? It was more, I guess, addressed to his base, in a way. So but the thread is there, and we'll see in a few days what's come out of it.
Let's go to a clip of The Apprentice.
You want to know how to win? I'm going to let you.
From The Apprentice, in which Trump's being interviewed over the phone as he rides in the back of the car with Roy Cohn, who's advising him what to say.
Listen, Judy, about
Now watch how he's schooling him. Watch how, Trump is so savvy now. You dig what I'm talking about? This is where he got it from, y'all. Watch. Keep telling y'all, he an actor. Why? Because he's a gangster.
100 reporters were crawling.
Those are clips from your really magnificent film, The Apprentice, which will open Friday here in New York.
He's a gangster. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Hold on. Let's go to the speed a little here.
Was his father, Fred Trump, and the DOJ, the Department of Justice, sues them for racial discrimination, preventing people of color, primarily African Americans, from living in their housing developments in Queens. This clip begins with Roy Cohn speaking in court as Trump. That's a clip from The Apprentice, and it talks about this really.
Told you he learned from the best, right? So let's not act like Trump ain't got it in him. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's not act like he ain't got it in him. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's catch a vibe real quick. You know what I mean? Where y'all want to go, man? We got any requests? You dig what I'm talking about? Any requests? Anything anybody want to listen to right now? While we keep vibing. What they gonna do? We are rising. Babylon falling. Babylon falling down. Hey, what they gonna do? What they gonna do? We are rising. Babylon falling.
Babylon falling down. Hey, so why we must get over it? Back us so stiff, we got to conquer it. Fire we burn, we can't go round it. We're the whirlwind now. Hey, record to the top, we're the survivor. Ain't gonna stop, stay alive, yeah. Now watch how them a plot. They not for long, they got some breaking down. Now what they gonna do? What they gonna do? We are rising. Babylon falling, Babylon falling down. Hey, what they gonna do? What they gonna do? We are rising. Babylon falling.
Yeah. For the truth, debate or the boots.
Oh. Let me make sure I can hear that real quick. Let me everybody make sure that's bronze. Yo, hey, yo, man, I promise you I'm gonna finish this, bro. I promise you I'm gonna finish this. Go ahead and get in this O and lace this, bro. I got some heat for this.
Yeah.
Go.
Jason Nero put the record on. Creator gang coming, creator gang coming. Turning up the light and watch some boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan, comprehension, understand. Breaking boys off like creator did the band. Cooler than the band, who you fooling, man? We be tearing shit up like we're taping some bands. Conscious community, yeah, we in demand. They hunger for the truth, debate or the booth. Sourcing up with the proof, hey, you on the tooth. Catch me in the candy painted octagon coupe. Step in my boots while I'm knocking mines loose. You be the cobra, I be the mongoose. Plant base in my suit, meditate on my fruit. Red Star training, who let the gods loose?
Creator gang is undefeated. I keep it real, pack to steal it for whoever want it. Clap, Judah be running laps when he get confronted. Got Devil Cosmon and knock you off of 500. They hit the club, roll up a Judah dub, forever blunted. Contemplating on who we gonna take out next. Got Cosmo, Cal, Malik, got Mac and be the best. The 4 horsemen who understand the business. Contract killers won't hesitate to kill a witness. 21 bodies executed on my hit list. JJ trying to watch me, trying to take pictures. Yara working with what's in pain, a bunch of snitches. Peer pressure separate the real from the bitches. Niggas be gang gang until you start to bang bang. Let a nigga brains hang on everybody like dang. You thought it couldn't happen. Yara wouldn't smoke 9/11 Manhattan. Bullets in his breastplate, both lungs collapsing. Hands reaching in the air for the air he grasped it. The flyer was made, Sila Shalom first captain. But the captain ran away just like if nothing happened. I'm a certified killer. Peel a nigga, cut him open and feed him his own liver. Graphic is how I paint the picture. Shoot shots like a pitcher. Split JJ like a swish. Cut the head off for the lion's den and watch the rest of the body quiver. Core shots I deliver when it's crunch time on the trigger. Got 2 pair of eagles fly like seagulls when it's time. I scoot out, shoot out. Air out Yara every time. Standing behind enemy lines, killing my enemies every time. Defend the faith like Muslim Sunni soldiers at a shrine. I facilitate thoughts beyond the thoughts of mankind. Creative gang is in the prime while you niggas get left behind. Creative gang is undefeated. Salute, Daryl Cosma, Cosma and Cal, Malachi Maccabee, and the whole Creative gang. Nigga, we outside with it. All that huffing and puffing don't mean nothing. You step in the dojo.
Yeah. I feel good right now. The atmospheric, green skies, the gang coming. I be in and out, so leave that thing running. Purify is preferred. Higher frequency, a higher burden. I observe on a different nerve. Breaking codes, I am the yoga. Deadly as a Ruger, straight and a shooter. Out the holster with this mudra, inoculation with the wisdom. Creator shape my prism and hit them with no schisms. Reason turn the light up. Y'all disappointing like 9 to 5 and some write-ups. Something rearranged, let that boy cook. Organization 33, stay up in them books. Lead them boys shook. 46 divided, yeah, I'm Fort Michael. It was only rifle that I came up in this cycle. They say they gangsters, but they telling it. Step outside, take off my shoes and let the sun hit my melon. Had to relearn that the herb beat the medicine. It's the same matrix, so who you think you better than? Perfect.
Creator gang is undefeated. Creator gang is undefeated. Know that. Know that. They not like us. Separate the real from the fake is a must. We stand on Creator and know God we trust. Team Kemet got crushed into powder and dust. Woo! Kemet looking bad now. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many men down? Look at us all running, ducking, trying to skip town. Now power one it in. You Hebrew, what you Kemet now? Siding with the people that enslaved your own people now? Chop you up into pieces and throw you in the river now. Bet you right beside you, get ate by Kemetic crocodile. Look, we got them running, covering square miles. Scared to death, what's left? Only to take the crown. Get smashed down on your own stomping ground. We took over like the Hicks on your turf doing a disco. 2-stepping, no half-stepping with the info. You wouldn't even know the book of the dead, bro, if it wasn't for the translation done by my sparrow. Your time's narrow, semi-missiles blow out your arch arrows. Arches down, so goes the pharaoh. I saw him reading the glyphs like he an expert. But where he learned that from? This about to hurt. First translation came from Samuel Birch. European Egyptology gave you it first. You couldn't translate a bird to a word without looking up them European definition verbs. Y'all niggas acting like y'all blackity black. Fronting to the people, man, y'all niggas actually whack. Your pathetic comedic creation myth is a trap. The blind leading the blind with no actual facts. Shabario Saze, you softer than Sade. Come to find out he followed Yahweh. That was your execution. You par Rosicrucian. Western thought you using. You are quite confusing. Don't know what you doing. How my eye got you moving. Right now you are losing. At your wake I'm viewing. R.I.P. communion. Mummy wrapped in ruin. OSP is ruling. Science has been proven. All motion moving. You live in an illusion. Who you think you fooling? Think you need some schooling. It's like Reggie out here living in a ghost town. Walking around like I see dead people around. I don't believe in spirits, but I believe them now. Stuttering Stanley, you can have a seat now.
Stuttering Stanley! Stuttering Stanley! Stuttering Stanley! Stuttering Stanley!
Freak! Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. Freaky ass Kemet, they got 69 gods. 69 gods, 69 gods. Creator gang is undefeated. Creator gang is undefeated. And it's gonna remain that way. And it's gonna remain that way.
This is you, and this is your surprising
Ain't nothing really better. You dig what I'm talking about? Then in the end of the day, be able to play your own joint. Shout out to my dog Tabs.
I look into the face of my enemy. I see my brother. I see my brother.
Look through the eyes of my enemy, no friend of me. The same one who killed Trayvon Officer friendly, but it ain't friendly. Remember Anunnaki, a fallen one who put the gun to the head of Pimp C. Resurrection in progress, we fake this, call it R.I.P. Now rise and shine, harvest time, government heavenly. Even our white brothers and sisters from the 70s. After the light of damn, we were separate as family, no brotherhood.
I look into the face of my enemy. I see my brother. I see my brother.
Since 6 to Super 7 got me deep in the 8. Every mile running is racist still. Black is my face. As they peep out they peripherals, appalled by the game. Whenever white rain and thunder put delays in the game. My flow from atmospheria, my shoes they come from Italy. Vortexian heat, I'm transferring this energy. Every word deliberately. Cops will kill you literally and label you a terrorist. If black with your identity, no brotherhood.
I look into the face of my enemy. I see my brother. I see my brother.
Money on the flow, and I gotta see what they talk about, you know. Don't talk about what you don't know with nobody in our business keeps us in business. Keep haters on the show, closest friends could be your enemies. Ain't trying to enjoy your mama, paranoia even gets to me, especially when you blow this loud great tree. People's listening, B plus the block raised me. I'm a gangster and a gentleman, but not too damn sensitive. No sexual shit, straight from the street, bitch. Stay on some G shit, posted with the heaters. 40 cal, leather guns and the millimeters. Cold hearted when you deal with cats that's retarded. And I brought it to the house, so baby, I'm begging your pardon. The tears from your eyes tomorrow the day we started. We gon' wine and dine, then I leave you till it's throbbing.
This is all my fault, I know, but please, girl, don't cry. I didn't mean to be so cold, but I got caught up. I'ma try to see you later, or make it up another night. Maybe we can wind it time.
We supposed to be intimate, but I ain't even into it. Now shorty getting sensitive, she know my time is tentative. Now every day we into it, because I'm always into it. Daddy go deliver it to get us out this tenement. Rap life is hectic, a hard occupation when it's money on the floor, and you gotta go and chase it. But your cutty feeling cabin fever, feeling isolated, when she used to getting straight back shots, inoculations. But he carried on through complications, carefully contemplating, cush up in our conversations, keeping the time pacing. Sorry to keep you waiting, but this paper won't. And these haters will leave you faded if you let them. Since Major got the magic, and Chucky chasing cheddar, Calvin P.A.B. flipping D, Jimboree. Sorry about the times I left you faded. I'll make it up another time, cause the grind's still waiting.
You know you're my missus. This is all my fault, I know, but please, girl, don't cry. I didn't mean to be so cold, but I got caught up. I'ma try to see you later, or make it up another night. Maybe we can wind it time.
we got a history on we was talking about black gangs in America. You did what I'm talking about. So we gonna tap in and see what
gangs as we see it today, in my belief, I don't think the intention was for it to be like this, or was it? But from my understanding, from like all the way up to this point, it was a defense mechanism. Yeah. And then eventually it turned into some bad shit. But anyway, let's get to it, man.
He tells me, listen, I'm gonna set aside everything I think I know and listen. Because the only person is a learned man, he's a dead man.
Yeah, man, video. You know, this is for sure. Yeah, man, video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby.
Apple Hat Gang, it started, I would guess, around about 68, 67, 68. I didn't.
Didn't I tell you? Everything fall on the timeline. Ain't making none of this up. Everything on the timeline, man. Everything in its own time, everything in its own season. Why 68, 69 is because we had just left the B cycle. That gets into a whole nother understanding, but that's what was going on. We was leaving a time of war.
I didn't become an Apple Hat until about 69, July 19th.
See?
I don't know, I would say about July 20th or 21st of 1969.
I didn't hear about the Crips until like 1970, and I was in the 7th grade. So the word was passed down from Jordan to Markham that ain't no Crips coming to Jordan. So therefore, the homies from the Green Jackets had it sold up, and they didn't allow nobody that held earrings in their ears with a cross in it, hanging down to their chest, and an ace deuce to walk down 103rd going towards Jordan High. That did not happen. Not in 71 at all, and not in 70 at all.
What year did the Browns come out?
Brahms, we got our name, I would say about maybe 72. That's when we changed our name to Brahms.
I was using the term blood, 71, 72. I went to Compton High School, 72. I got into it with Lee Thomas and Mad Dog, Jackie Wilson, because I was a blood. You know what I mean? What year? 72. What's the blood 72? I was blood 72.
We was at Earl Brown and Pumpkin. We had our headquarters at that time on 65th and Vermont. Earl Brown and Pumpkin came in. They had some long trench coats on and some.
Oh, he a motherfucking grandpa for real. And Earl Dean and over there off 65th. And yeah, we got together. He liked Doritos. I like the lemon heads. John, he liked the Boston baked beans.
He ain't even
But
ready.
anyway. Oh, gee, man. That's how you sit up here telling.
You know what I mean? I don't like when they misrepresent the culture. You dig what I'm talking about? If you're going to, you know what I mean, talk about it, but be real about it when you're talking about it. Go over here, tap in over on Smoke Channel, see what they talking about.
They're the one complaining.
Billy, you ain't living a good life.
And I'm
Billy, you ain't living a good life
You're
now.
the one complaining. I'm
You're living that good life.
You're the one complaining.
I don't see that of us complaining over here. We agreeing or that people got to do for themselves.
That he like to use.
I ain't
And
gonna
some
lie, man.
things.
Some of our kids stupid though.
Oh shit! Well, it could be the food truth. It's the food. It's the medicine. And listen, let's keep it 100.
They're poisoning the air.
Most of our societies are drugs.
I ain't talking about nothing. You dig what I'm talking about? Let's see what Tariq Nasheed talking about. We just chopping it up, man. Anybody want to come in, come kick it with your cousin, man. Ask any questions or whatever. You dig what I'm talking about? We can get it popping. All right. 1 second.
Hey, most of our
let's keep
societies
it.
are
Let's keep
drugs.
it.
Hold on, let's keep. I ain't talking about nothing. Let's just keep it moving. You know what I'm talking about? Let's see what Tariq Nasheed talking about. We just chopping it up, man. Anybody want to come in? Let me see. Come kick it with your cousin, man. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat real quick. If anybody want to come through, boom. Let me see, cause I know I got some something that I can always, you dig what I'm talking about, delve into. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't got to talk about what they talking about. You know what I mean? We definitely ain't got to talk about what they talking about. Let's get into some Algonquin folklore, right? How about that? Let's tap into America a little bit. Let's tap into some of this little people information, huh? The Puck, right? Let's tap into some of this information about the little people. Anybody want to jump on? They can. You dig what I'm talking about? The link is in the chat. You dig what I'm talking about? Do y'all know what they call the little people in Algonquin? Pugwudgies. Let's get some of this information that the ancient Algonquin, your ancestors,
He builds you
and
a
left
completely free
some of the little
e-commerce
people
store
they encountered
preloaded with
here in the Americas.
Pukwudgie. Pukwudgies come from the legends of the Lenape.
What's up?
Eloise was just a kid playing in the park when she was approached by a small group of creatures who were confused about what she was doing. She said they had high-pitched voices and were speaking a language she had never heard before. And this wasn't the last time either. She would later encounter these little creatures again while she was off hiding in the woods alone.
And if this isn't scary enough, she's not the only one to run into a Pukwudgie.
Pukwudgies come from the legends of the Lenape tribe in Delaware, which is a branch of the entire Algonquin people. So this creature may appear in other legends. They are said to be little magical people of the force and are somewhat similar to European gnomes or fairies, depending on your depiction of what those are. The nature of a Pukwudgie varies depending on the tribe that's telling the story. To the Ojibwa people, Pukwudgies or Bagwajaninis are considered to be a mischievous group of beings, but more aligned with the good-natured beings of the world. They'll play tricks on you, but they're not incredibly dangerous, at least according to the Ojibwa. To the Abenaki and other Northeast Algonquin tribes, Pukwudgies are unpredictable little people that can be extremely horrifying to deal with, but only if you're being disrespectful and rude to them. Other than that, they may play an occasional prank on you here and there, but for the most part, they're not too bad. They may even help you out if you really need it. But again, they're unpredictable at best. They're just as likely to kidnap your child and never bring them back as they are to tie your shoelaces together.
And according to some stories of the Wampanoag, the Pukwudgies were the enemies of Maushop, which was a hero of the people. Some versions even say that the Pukwudgies are responsible for his death. Overall, they seem a lot like the Yumwi Sunzi of Cherokee folklore, but a lot more volatile. If you want to know more about them, I do have a video and I'll link it at the end.
So how do you know when you've run into a Pukwudgie? Well, it's kind of hard to miss. They're usually knee-high or even smaller, and their name literally means person of the wilderness. Some people believe them to be spirits that are immaterial and almost ethereal, while others say they are strictly a physical being that absolutely exists. But my personal opinion is that they may be physical beings with paranormal powers, if they really are out there in the woods.
And what makes their whole existence a mystery is what the things are capable of doing. They're capable of turning themselves invisible, conjuring illusions, and making you forget the things you just saw. Supposedly, they can turn themselves into cougars and other dangerous animals. In fact, some say that they're capable of causing bodily harm just by staring at you.
You and I can sit here and joke as much as we want about the idea of little people being in the woods. But for some, the existence of these horrifying creatures is an ongoing nightmare that they just can't seem to shake.
let me know if you see anything behind me. Bill lived in a ranch-style home. It was about 600 yards from a large, thick area of woodlands surrounding a cluster of swamps and springs. He worked the late shift at an ironworks and he got off at midnight. He was used to the darkness and he would take his dog Sammy out for walks, but Sammy was no Chihuahua. She was a mixture of Rottweiler and German Shepherd and weighed over 80 pounds. She herself was quite the beast. Now, not only was she a huge dog, but she was a fearless companion. You see, she and Bill were at the zoo looking at bisons, and for some reason, one of the bulls decided he just didn't like Bill. So he starts charging at him. And if it had not been for the fence between the two, Bill wouldn't be with us today. This bison struck the fence so hard that it left a 3D imprint of where it hit. But regardless of the size, Sammy didn't care. She barked and growled and bit at the fence until this bison retreated. This 80-pound dog scared off a 1,000-pound bison. She truly was fearless. Bill had even mentioned how his kids would get into arguments, and when it looked like his kids were about to start a physical fight, Sammy would jump into the middle and start barking at both of them until they backed off. And it only took about 5 or 10 seconds. So Bill had gotten off work, and he and Sammy were on their nightly stroll. They always stayed out on the sidewalks, and they rarely ran into anyone. In fact, the area that they lived in was so small that the police didn't even have a night shift. If there was ever an issue, the county over would be called, and instead, they'd come in place of the local police. So as they were out for their nightly stroll, Sammy decides she wants a change of pace and starts leading Bill to the edge of the forest. Sammy was a fearless dog after all, so it was really no concern of Bill. They made their way through a place called the High Tees. Now, the High Tees was a strip of nature that was about 50 feet wide, and all kinds of animals used it to avoid the dangers of the paved road. It ranged from bears, foxes, wolves, and now something else. So Bill had made their way through the High Tees until they had come to a cross street. Once they had gotten to that cross street, he and Sammy were just about 500 yards away from home. They just had to walk past the lamppost, through the forest, and then they'd be at the house. Except Sammy didn't want to. She was clearly spooked by something. Sammy began pulling her leash and whimpering and shaking and refused to walk any further. And Bill was just looking at his massive dog, asking her, "What's wrong, Sammy? Come on, let's go home. Let's go get something to eat." And then he heard it. He heard the noise that Sammy was already aware of. And then he saw it. It was just a dark figure about the size of a child at first, but he could hear this little thing rustling in the bushes and speaking to him. Or at least it sounded like it was trying to speak. At first, Bill believed it to be a child who was just learning how to talk, and he began to fear that they needed help. So he kept his gaze locked onto this tiny figure, and it kept speaking to him. It sounded more and more impatient as time went by. Whatever it was saying, it really needed Bill to listen to it. The little creature took a step forward, and it was just at the edge of the light. And then a small, hairy hand was lifted up, and its fingers were scooped in as it was beckoning Bill to come forward. Sammy tried to pull him away, and this 80-pound dog was shaking so badly that Bill was afraid she was going to break one of her joints. She lowered her head and wouldn't even face the direction that this little creature was. But Bill, being the practical guy that he was, didn't believe it to be anything out of the ordinary. He just assumed that it was a little kid that really needed help. So he takes a step closer, and he's about 20 feet from this thing, and he just asks, "Are you okay? Do you know where your house is? Do you need any help?" But instead of hearing something he understood, this little thing just kept saying the same thing over and over to him, except this time with much more force in its voice. It wouldn't stop saying this until Bill took one more step forward.
Twisters is streaming exclusively on Peacock.
It's gonna be the wildest tornado.
And he saw that this was no kid. It was about 3 feet tall, standing on 2 legs, covered in fur, and it had kind of a chipmunky face, as Bill puts it. It even had a pot belly, making it look like it was a matured adult version of whatever it was. Its cries began growing louder and louder with more force and frustration in its tone. Bill had noticed how frightened Sammy was, and the pair backed away from this thing and headed for home as fast as they could, except they took the long way around and stayed on the sidewalk. Later that night, Bill just couldn't go to sleep. The entire ordeal had him on edge, and he just couldn't get this strange thing out of his mind. He kept wondering what it was saying, and eventually he came to the conclusion that Whatever it was speaking was some form of broken English. Each time it was saying here, it was a shortened version of come here. And the words "I want you," it was saying we want you. Come here. We want you.
If you run into one of these creatures, the best thing to do would be to politely decline and walk away. If the legends are true, then they are unable to pursue their targets. So if you leave peacefully, they won't come after you. They won't come tapping at your window at night. However, if you're rude and insulting to them, they may just curse you with something that would make you wish you were no longer in the land of the living. I think it's possibly just a best general practice to always be polite to any creatures or things you run into in the woods. Or if you prefer the safety of your home, you could check out this video here on the Yunwi Junzi. They're a lot like the Pukwudgies, except not nearly as volatile. Or maybe
You know. Not underestimate the strength of the little people in Cherokee Nation. They're fierce, brave, and sometimes they can be a little funny.
the Yunwi Junzi are a race of small beings that are said to live in the woods of Cherokee Nation. They're made up of 3 tribes, and depending on which one you run into and how you treat them, you may end up getting directions, getting tripped, or getting attacked.
I have some suspicions that there may have been a 4th tribe of Yunwi.
That my mic was on mute. I was talking like a mug. This is some more information about little people told through ancient American folklore. You dig what I'm talking about? So I just think it's interesting that, you know, you hear these stories, these tales, these fables. They done found the bones and all this stuff. And then you get a book like Owaspy and they come through and it's saying all of it's real. And then explain it and show you how and why and where and with what and who. You dig what I'm saying? So it's just, it gets deep. So this is, you know, we heard about the Pukwudgies from the Lenapes, Northern Algonquin groups. Let's hear some about some of the Southern, mid-Southern groups, North Carolina way, top of South Carolina, Tennessee way, where these little people burial grounds was found at. Also, they called them the Yunwi Sundi, or the Mooneye people, right? So let's get a little more information on the little folks from the Cherokees. I just think it's interesting that every single Aboriginal, Native, Indigenous tribe, every single one of them have not only have a word for the little people and a name, right? But they got them in their folklore and their histories. I think that's amazing. So, you know, with new information like Owaspy being brought forth, you think what I'm saying? I think it's imperative we start listening, you know, to some of these old folk tales. They may have and hold keys.
Nation. They're fierce, brave, and sometimes they can be a little funny.
The Yunwi Junzi are a race of small beings that are said to live in the woods of Cherokee Nation. They're made up of 3 tribes, and depending on which one you run into and how you treat them, you may end up getting directions, getting tripped, or getting attacked.
I have some suspicions that there may have been a 4th tribe of Yunwi-Junzi, and the reason that they're no longer in existence. But I'll get to that story and how they were supposedly killed off at the end.
So let's say you're walking through the woods, and you're paying attention to where you're going, but somehow you still end up tripping. You fall on the ground looking at the tree root that you didn't know was there. You ignore it and you keep walking. And then it happens again. And again. Well, that would mean you've become the butt of a joke by the Laurel clan. The Laurel clan of Yunwi-Junzi is known to be a bunch of pranksters. They'll trip you, lead you astray, and if you manage to talk to one, they'll even give you the wrong directions, all in the name of a good laugh. Overall, they're not the worst clan to run into, but if you're in desperate need, you would probably want to run into the Dogwood clan. The Dogwood clan of Yunwi-Junzi are the ones that are mostly serious. They don't like people that trespass on their lands, but if you're lost or hurt or need help, they would be the ones to take you seriously. They'd give you proper directions and overall, just give you a helping hand. Now, if you run into them, you want to be sure that you're respectful and thankful for any assistance. And as long as you do that, you'll be good. But the last clan, you just want to try to avoid them entirely. The Rock clan of Yunwi-Junzi doesn't joke and doesn't help. They're not your forced friends and they're not going to join you in your next adventure. They don't like outsiders and will attack you even if you accidentally insult them. And while they are in fact very little people, that doesn't mean that they are weak. The Rock clan is a great example of a group of people adapting to their harsh environment by also becoming quite harsh. It's not that they're inherently mean or bad, but I think it's probably because they've had to survive this way. The world outside of the city and suburbs is not as easygoing for those that call the forest home. And this story is actually a testament of how harsh the world can be. The Yunwi-Junzi may have had more than 3 tribes, and I believe this could be the story of how the 4th clan was wiped out. Also, real quick, I just want to say if you've been enjoying this video, please leave me a like and comment your favorite part. I actually love hearing people get excited about the same stuff as me.
This story goes back to before the Europeans came to call North America home. Actually, several thousand years before they even arrived. A group of young Cherokee men had gone out into the world to see what they could find, to see what all it held within it, really. So they made their way south to a tribe of little people. And these people were little oddly shaped. They were so small that they barely made it up to the men's knees. They didn't have houses or teepees or anything of the sort. They actually lived in these little nests scooped out of the sand with dried leaves covering the top. And in fact, at this point, the little people were so frail and weak that they were constantly afraid of these geese and a few other birds that would actually come and attack them. They would prey on them due to their small size and stature. So the Cherokee men showed them how to make weapons and clubs to defeat these geese. And they showed them where they needed to hit them on their necks so that way they would actually make a killing blow. Now they would have showed them how to make bows and arrows, but they just didn't have time. So after they had taught them these skills, Cherokee men were on their way. With the Cherokee men gone, the little people were on their own as a massive flock of geese came down out of the sky. They were so great in numbers that you couldn't take more than a few steps without bumping into one of these birds. The geese ran after the little people as they took shelter in their nests. But as the geese stuck their heads into their homes, the little people used their clubs and struck the birds right on the spot where they were shown by the Cherokee men. They had fought for hours and hours until they finally killed off the majority of the birds. The remaining geese flew off in disappointment, and the little people survived. So the Cherokee had come back throughout the years later to see how their new friends had gone. They heard the stories of the geese, and they would return, but the little people would fight them off over and over. Until one day the Cherokee arrived, and they were all gone. The Cherokee had looked around to try and understand what happened to their little friends, and then they found some feathers. Feathers of a flock of cranes, actually. And see, the cranes, they were too tall for the little people to strike them on their necks, and they wiped them out. But with them having the nests on the sand, the 3 clans of the Yunwi-Junzi being in the forest and all, this may have been the 4th one, or they could have been the part of the little people that actually survived and retreated into the forests. And maybe that's why they all live separately. They all have different ideas of how they should treat people.
The Rock clan may be angry with mankind for not being there to help them when they needed it. The Dogwood clan could be understanding and grateful, but also weary of trusting strangers due to the men's lack of involvement in this battle. And the Laurel clan may see this story as a way of saying to not take life so seriously, and to enjoy every moment, because you never know when it's your final day on this earth. Which would mean if you enjoyed this video, they may want you to enjoy this one here that YouTube thinks you'll like too. I'll see you there.
It's just a little bit of something to share with the tribe. You dig what I'm talking about? With the gang. You dig what I'm talking about? Anything anybody else want to talk about, I'll drop the link in the chat. Don't nobody want to come kick it with their cousin. All right, I'll see how it is. You dig what I'm talking about? Y'all gonna be asking me for them Cosmon lives one day. You dig what I'm talking about? Y'all gonna be asking me for them Cosmon lives. But you know, if nothing else, you dig what I'm talking about? Don't nobody else want to come in, man. I'll go ahead, pack it up. Go ahead, chop it up. Fam for the weekend, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Y'all support the channel, man. Thumb up the channel, man. Share the live. It's free. You dig what I'm saying? And with that being said, I'm just going to need you to breathe in and let that light in. Some Cosmon, and I'm on.
And oh yeah, put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feel it when you're feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh, it's that Japheth, that Chow Mein, that Papabul, that Tao Mein, since sun south in the arc of Wayne. My brain moving like Tao Sang, so ass above, it's so below. That up and that down thing, this flow is atmospherian. I call that a ground game. See, water is knowledge, so if I'm teaching, you're learning. So how your God make a sun without vortexing current? See, the pattern is ponic, I'm reaching out for my people. Oh, watch me flow through your speakers, you feel the force of the ether. And when the force gets the equal, I'm taking off like an eagle. Police popped the pastor yesterday for pushing Puerto. My DNA is Moshe. Mix that thing with higher water. My spirit rate is OTN. It's just a higher order. Got more light than Kavita. Rap a lot just like Tila. Went from sinner to saint. Shout out my big homie Sela. Got more torque than a sports car. Got more work than a door star. In the 4 million I make, I'm giving the Dr. Umar. Oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you're feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Super 7 in my rites and ceremonies. I'm married to Jehovah, holy matrimony. Confucius say, in the words of Caillou, before you hit the tomb, be a bridegroom. Only got one question for Miss Susan B. On how to last Ahuin is now a Angui. Blame my inspiration, I'm just thinking thoughts. But in the way of God's, we gon' keep it short. Why Jesus wanna kill me, Matthew 10:34. Just a couple questions that I'm needing to know. Oh, watch me flow, it's so potent. Set the vortex in motion. Super 7, I'm floating across the Aegean Ocean. Oh, you a Muslim now, so I guess you making salat. Well, I'm an Israelite, I'ma make him at the Shabbat. Got Moses on the bumper, super slap off in my spaceship photosphere. So I stay lit, peace and light to the faith. It's oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you're feeling up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah. Put that Super 7 in the air. Tell me how you feeling when you feel it up there. When you in the sky breathing rarefied air. When you're breathing rarefied air, oh yeah.
$20.